Hello everyone and welcome to episode 24 of the Terminus podcast for the week of April 4th, 2015.
Can you believe it's already been 24 podcasts? Woo!
Dang.
As always, I am your dispatcher, Ellis, otherwise known as Train Man. With me, I have my engineers, Wiebold, TJ, and Milky.
Yay.
And our guest
How long until
brakeman,
it's been a year?
once again, is JDur. It'll be a year soon enough.
Hello. Yeah.
It seems like it's close because it's 52 and we've been doing it for every other week for a while now.
Yes, that is true. I'm actually, there's stuff in the works for the year.
The year.
We'll talk about that later, though.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
And before we do, the train will terminate at this station.
Okay, this week we were aboard the Belkin Spot. Yeah! In Austria, I believe, going to Oslo.
Oslo.
Maybe we're gonna know about Peace Prize.
What?
That's where they give out the Peace Prize. It's Oslo.
Oh. I didn't know that.
And Oslo
Sweet.
was
Well,
his
yeah.
name, oh.
Wait, is Oslo the minute?
What?
What?
What is... Am I on the right video?
Yeah, you are.
Yes.
Okay, I was making sure.
It's okay, yeah. Where is this? Norway?
Yeah, Norway.
I don't know.
It is Norway.
Belkin Spot. Been.
Bru
Whoa.
over Strandeleva.
Oh, sure.
Dings. Okay.
The ding was a little bit surprising, but okay.
I
It's
have the
just so
sound.
quiet and then ding.
I have the sound turned off for
Yeah, for the viewers, when
yeah.
that little sign popped down, it went ding really loudly.
ding.
Ding! Ding!
Excavator.
I would whip out
Excavators,
that
excavators, excavators. Yo.
Excavator, I hardly know
I believe
her.
it's escalators.
Escalator! Escalator!
Okay, I have a new rule.
No,
if you
holding
tr-
your breath.
It's if you try to hold your breath in a tunnel and you fail, you get a point.
Oh, damn it. I think I'm going first then.
After this one. I didn't get to say it. I was thinking about that because there are some really long tunnels this train plunges into.
So if you don't hold your breath and you don't if you don't try
So
then
if
you
you
don't.
fail
you
at
don't-
it, then you get a point.
if you don't try, you don't get a point. But if you try and screw it up, then you do.
All right, let's do this,
Okay.
boys.
I'm gonna try.
All right.
What?
Well, first things first. Is, of course, what the hell was that?
It's the announcement going on in the train.
Oh. Why don't you all just mute your videos? Because, anyways, I had parts 3 and 4 of the Lakeshore Limited saga, or the Lakeshore. Well, no, not even. It got to Albany early. It got to Boston more or less on time, but that was kind of cheaty. Okay, the Lakeshore Limited cheats in schedules. It's despicable. It
Like me.
adds an hour of time between Framingham, which is the last stop before Boston, and Boston South Station. So if you are an hour late into Framingham and you don't make up any time, you'll still get to Boston on time, on schedule.
This camera's quite pretty.
It is.
It
I like
is
it.
very nice.
See, I was
It's very pretty, yes.
I was thinking what it would take to get them to put me, to let me put a camera on the the dashboard of the Lakeshore Limited.
Yeah,
That'd be really interesting.
would be.
And there was a lot of stuff that I saw actually when I was out there. There were
Unfortunately, then you must die.
well, something had to die for me to continue on time, and that was my glasses. Although I have them back now. I left them on a bus in Troy. And that was a stupid decision. I got really that's a whole story in and of itself, but then I missed a bus and I had to walk across the Hudson River to get to the train station. And got on the train early because it arrived early somehow. And was heading out into Massachusetts, and we had to stop. We stopped in a siding behind a CSX train, behind 2 CSX trains, actually. There were 2 other trains stacked in this passing siding in front of us. And we had to wait for the other Lakeshore Limited, number 449. We were on 448. And because it was running 20 minutes late to pass us coming the other direction. And then we had to back out of the siding and go around the 2 CSX trains. And there were some horses kind of staring at us the whole time. There was, I keep referring to this place called the Middle of Nowhere, Massachusetts. It, of course, isn't a place, but it felt like that's where I was the whole time. Because it's just rolling through endless forests or farms or hills or,
farms.
Yeah, I know. I knew you would appreciate that.
Oh my god, food.
It's it's beautiful. It's actually really beautiful. But part of it was there were some hills that we went by. It's funny because we went by these hills, and I swear if I had seen it in trains, I would have called BS. A hill doesn't look like that. But I'm looking out the window of the train going, that's a really weird looking mountain.
That's a mountain? Geology, how does it work?
And then just as I was getting upset about running out of Wi-Fi, I was plunged into darkness. There's a place called State Line Tunnel that I didn't know about. It used to be 2 different tunnels side by side, and then when not CSX, when Conrail came along, they tore up one of them. So it's down to single track, 1 tunnel. And it's right near the summit at Richmond, and it's right near the state line into New York, but I forgot. I didn't know there was a tunnel there. So it was just like, holy crap, what the... I'm wearing a tunnel.
Welcome!
And then you come out the other side, and the rock walls are like twice as tall as the train, and they're completely covered in ice.
That sounds lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, in one of these fields, there was just a caboose with no cupola on it. That was just kind of...
A decapitated caboose.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright.
It was like totally... We're in
dang.
Yigre.
Yeager.
It was just totally down to bare wood and everything. I was like, man, poor caboose. And then we ran by this coaling tower and part of a roundhouse. Here's a picture of it when it was, well, not served by, but when Conrail owned the area. It's been totally abandoned. It was Boston and Albany, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the sort of thing, like, I see the coaling tower just kind of show up out of nowhere, and it's like, whoa, hello. And then the roundhouse, it's like, man, but we're not near anything. Why are these things out in the middle of nowhere?
Oh.
Half of the stalls have been bricked up anyways.
Oh.
Bricks.
Probably nothing in there. Yeah, with
You know,
bricks.
Bricks.
Yeah,
there might be a steam engine behind one of them. You may never know.
I doubt it. There's really not anything there. Got to see a bunch of freight service just kind of, we passed a lot of CSX trains. We passed some NECR trains. We passed a Norfolk and Western painted hopper car.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really strange to see. Whoa, who's echoing?
What's your function?
And then we got to Springfield, and then I got sad.
Why?
Oh.
Because I was looking for Tower 96, which was the last B&A built, Boston and Albany built tower still standing, as far as I know. And it was gone.
Oh.
It was demolished in a they're tearing down the way to make way for a bus terminal. Adjunct to the station, which is also getting rebuilt.
So they're tearing everything down for a bus station.
Well, and a new station. Springfield
Station. I don't care if you like trains or not. You can't say that they're worse than taking a bus.
Yeah, that's true.
Buses are like the lowest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the lowest evolutionary step of transportation.
Oh yeah.
They're
even below
worst.
trams.
They're literally Hitler.
They're literally Hitler. No offense to any bus drivers out there. It's not you. It's what you drive. Actually, I do dislike buses because like the air ride suspension, the rocking back and forth. I get car sick. I don't know why trains don't do it to me. But
I was gonna say, if you don't like rocking back and forth, trains are
not like
like
side to side, but like forward to back. You ever been in a bus with like really springy air ride suspension?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, it's like it's worse.
It's like being on Star Tours.
It's worse than being on a boat. You know, I can handle boats pretty well. A bus just is like, ah.
I can handle boats. I just don't like them.
Yeah, I know, Wiebold.
Boat.
I'm the same way, but with airplanes.
Springfield Station is really in a bad way right now. It's actually kind of unique in that, think they built the station concourse, and then they put the tracks and platforms on top of that. So it's not an underground station, because the concourse is at ground level, but the tracks are all elevated. But there's enough stuff up there that you wouldn't know you're on top of a building.
Rasta did it.
In fact, there are trees growing out of the top of the building because there are parts of it that have been abandoned for so long. These are pretty good-sized trees, too. They're like phone pole thickness trees that have been there for God knows how long, and the platforms that nobody uses anymore.
Trees.
Almost made it to the end. Dang it.
Did you try to hold your breath, TJ?
I'll grant you that one. We were close enough. As much as I like giving you points. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. So then I got home. There was just by chance there was a Providence and Worcester train shunting the Port of Providence, which was interesting to see. Nice paint scheme, as always. And then speaking of paint schemes, I understand why they call it the hypothermic B. The what is it? The MP36 or the MP39?
Oh yeah.
So it's vaguely shaped like a B.
Bumblebees?
It's vaguely shaped like a B, and it's got like sort of bumblebee painting, but not really. And
Hey, don't drag a much better paint scheme into this.
No. I don't mean the bumblebee paint scheme. I mean like a bee. Yeah, except instead of yellow, it's purple. So it's like it's hypothermic. At least it hasn't got frostbite. Like milk. But then I got back on the train a week later, and I saw a CSX, a very freshly painted, actually. What the hell is that? A very freshly painted CSX U-boat. Ahead of
U-boat.
Yeah, ahead of the CSX safety train.
Oh.
Huh.
And it had a caboose too.
Boosta.
A CSX caboose.
I was gonna make a CSX terrible joke, but you know what? You spared yourself, CSX.
Because boosta.
Because boosta.
Oh,
And
ton of
unsurprisingly, the train back to Albany was completely packed. Every seat was taken. The train to Boston was not, and I was amazed because the Lakeshore Limited is always full. But it was also great because we were passing all sorts of foamers. They were, going through the grade crossings in the middle of Massachusetts, and there were people set up with cameras, and I'm like, oh, what losers!
Waiting for the safety train.
Yeah, no, just wait, filming us as well. I don't know if they were waiting for the safety train.
Kind of guy.
The safety train looked kind of sidelined. Actually,
I was gonna ask, why do they have a freshly painted U-boat?
Because it's for the safety train.
Yeah.
Hang on, I found a picture of it.
Why don't they run Steam though?
Because they're CSX, and I don't want to destroy any
There's
steam engines.
There's the fancy U-boat. Looks awesome.
They don't want to do what?
They don't want to destroy any steam engines by accident.
Yeah, but
this isn't even as shiny as I saw it. Like, it was really shiny.
Yeah, I like it.
What is it? Oh,
because I think they just updated it.
What the heck is this?
I think they just updated it
Oh
to
my
the dark
God.
future paint scheme. This is a long, straight tunnel.
Look at this. CSX meets NASCAR.
It's the light at the end of the tunnel. What is this?
Okay.
CSX meets
Play it
NASCAR.
safe.
Play it safe around railroad Number 34. Number 34, the Sellout Express.
level 34.
He's coming around the back 9. Oh no, and he's found another marketing deal that pays higher.
Bird lands.
Also, there was a really obnoxiously painted house. I wish I'd snapped a picture of it because it was like pink with purple trim, like super flamboyant looking. It was it was really great. You know, just kind of going by and going, what the hell was this person thinking?
Where did you get your taste aside from the Parker Brothers copyrighted game Candyland?
And now we're flagged.
Oh
no. Also, you know the thing you do when you're on a train.
Well, the Parker Brothers also makes Monopoly, so we should be
legal Monopoly.
If anything's gonna do it, it's gonna be that, not Candyland.
Obviously, they care more about Candyland.
Yeah, of course.
Also, you know the thing you do when you're on a train and it goes around a curve and you're like towards the back, and the curve engine is pointing. Yeah, I did. Why didn't I think to do that in the 5 hours I was on the train going towards Boston? I only realized it by accident on the way back.
Come on.
I went, oh look, I can see the engines from here, and we have 3 of them.
Oh, I did that with the ACS 64 when I was coming back from Pennsylvania.
Usually have 3 of them?
No. At most, we're supposed to have 2. The other section of the Lakeshore Limited up from New York brings a dual mode P32, and we leave that at Albany because they use that running into New York City. But it's supposed to be 2 engines that come out of what I assume they are stationed in Chicago, because that's where the crew is stationed. That's where the crew is all from. And then run down all the way to Boston, get turned, and run back. But we had 3 both times. I'm not sure if they upgraded the consist or something, or if they really needed the higher acceleration or whatever that the 3 engines was giving them. But I don't know, we had 3 of them. Also, I was going to add something to that, and now I don't remember what it was. 3 engines. Just kind of odd.
Yep, 3 engines.
Lovely.
Oh, the thing, I don't know if they need 3 engines now, but if they did upgrade the consist, I'd like to point out that the Lakeshore Limited is Amtrak's longest consist after it exits Albany and is heading towards Chicago.
Huh.
How long is it?
I will bring that up, actually. Uh-oh, TJ's in trouble.
Oh.
Dun dun dun.
But at least he hasn't. But at least he hasn't blown a supercharger.
Yeah, that's about the extent of rail fanning. When we were out checking out a new zipline place and across town. If you know Castle Rock ziplining, check it out. It's fantastic. There was a BNSF freight that, you know, I could see the tracks from our vantage point up on the mountain, and of course I watched it come in, and it got in and stopped, and it left about a half hour later, but with 1 less engine.
Oh.
And, yeah. And we, as we were driving out, I saw it on a spur, and it had the, not the hood, but the, what do you call those? The maintenance doors, I suppose.
Oh, open?
Yeah, well, they're quite a few of them were open, and the paint was actually a little bit,
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot at Selkirk. I mean, they just, because it's the huge engine servicing facility there, like half of their engines, like all the doors are open on the outside.
Yeah, it had, it was having engine trouble of some sort. I assumed it was the supercharger because there was a pretty big bang before.
I was gonna say, did you get to see it explode?
It didn't go like supernova, but
Aw. Have you seen
I'm assuming that it was still quite a blast because it was. It didn't just like quietly come to the stop. This thing came into town.
It's like a gas tube.
It blew. What was that? That Canadian National blew bits of the pistons.
Yeah, that was
into the neighboring house.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they probably needed a new engine, right, Milky?
Yes, indeed. They probably did. Speaking of new engines, Albany, I got to see one involved. Well, Albany needs things new DAF safe. Well, DAF 7. and one of the older ones that they've had for a while.
I don't know the
And-
difference between those engines. Like, well, you were going on about it earlier, but like the newer, more modern diesels.
All right, I for whatever reason, when was that?
I don't know.
For the audience, I just, for whatever reason, I couldn't even afterward, I was like, wow, that was a little bit.
Louis Skeeple.
Guess I was bottling that out for a while, but modern diesels all look the same.
Wiebold has anger issues over modern diesels all looking the same.
They do. It's true.
I mean, it's true, yeah.
I'm known for saying stupid things when I'm angry.
Bring back F units.
Unholy metal machine.
That too.
Throws to me.
It's technically an F unit. It starts with an F.
Yeah.
No, bring back the FC9.
No.
No, bring back something that looks interesting.
As long as you promise to wash them, Milky.
Like Steam.
Give me Steam.
I
as
will
long as
watch
you promise to wash them.
Or
Yeah.
just
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
or just change up your
funny.
paint scheme once in a while.
Yeah.
Don't even change up the paint scheme. They just all look the same.
No, you know what you should do? You should paint optical illusions on the side of them.
Yes.
You have that huge canvas to change it up, just make it look like there's, a black hole in the middle of the engine that's, sucking the maintenance doors in or something.
That's awesome.
But that's the extent of my will fanning.
You know how we talk about sometimes if we were CEOs of these companies?
Yeah.
I have a feeling this is not one of our finer hours.
Well, we could be blowing people. Imagine advertising being
I don't
like,
want. Well, okay, no.
this railroad, we blow people's minds on. the passengers come into the station.
There ain't no brakes.
The passengers come into the station. They see the
Or
engine. They're
steeple.
like, whoa! And if they're high, it's even better.
What does that have to do with it?
The trippy optical illusions, man. We will service only Colorado and Washington for the time being.
Wow.
Are there any states where acid is legal? Because it'd be even better.
I know there are
Oh.
parts of Canada there.
Why?
There are like they make these like safe zones is what I've heard, and it's a very small area where you can go and do drugs, and it's all very controlled, so you can't. It's basically to prevent people from getting STDs from used needles and stuff like that.
Huh.
If someone's gonna do it, you might as well have them do it in an environment where they're not gonna hurt themselves even more or spread disease.
Right.
Alright.
The disease is the one factor I can see on that.
Coughs and sneezels spread diseases.
Someone doing acid is only a problem to them, usually. Someone doing acid and then getting AIDS and then giving that AIDS to other people is a problem for other people.
Just doing it.
It's
Grimy
It's
grass.
tough. It's tougher to. I suppose it's tougher to give acid to other people than it is to give AIDS to other people.
Ooh, that's a nice station.
I don't know. I disagree with that one.
Well, it depends how much of a ladies' man you are.
Yeah, personal experience now.
Oh, you have personal experience selling acid?
Is it legal there?
Depends. Hydrochloric acid.
Depends. You want some?
We're doing the.
We got it. INSA.
Yeah. It's okay. We've been on a list for a very long time.
We're on a number of lists.
We're on the illegal monopoly list.
We're on there's a list that they have of lists, and we are on that list.
We are a list.
Yeah. No. There's a list that they have that lists the other lists. We are on that list.
Well,
Right.
I mean, sure. JDur, go ahead.
Alright, so last week for my birthday, we took a trip to Cincinnati. And,
Ooh.
we stayed at the Embassy Suites over on the Kentucky side of the Ohio River. Yeah, it was a nice hotel. And about, I think maybe half mile or so away was the CSX bridge that, brought trains into Cincinnati.
Is it a drawbridge? Just wondering.
Unfortunately, no. The bridge is high enough, over the water where barges and crap can.
Damn it, I
Go
hate it
under
when they
pretty-
do that. I like drawbridges.
You hate it when they do it correctly.
I hate it when they make it so that you don't. I hate it when they make it so that you don't run into problems like the one I was talking about last week or last Terminus with the 100-year-old bridge and the sludge tanker.
But you know, from our hotel room had a decent view of the tracks. Could see trains going in and out of the CSX Queensgate Yard, which is the main freight yard in Cincinnati. Saw about six trains over the entire
really
trip.
Noteworthy? Or
No.
just all mixed freights?
No.
All freights. Unfortunately, I didn't see an
mixed
Amtrak.
freight is noteworthy.
Well, yeah. Well, out there, Wiebold, it's like coal.
Yeah, that's all there. That's why I say like anything that's not coal is noteworthy.
Did you say mixed train?
I was trying to, you know,
No,
as soon
we
as
did
we
not
got,
say
as soon
mixed
as we
train,
got,
TJ.
No, thank you.
as soon as we got into our hotel room, I was trying to look up when the Amtrak came through so I could, be sitting at the
So you
window
could
trying
foam
to
it.
look at it.
Oh.
But the Amtrak website was no help.
Yeah, well, you should have used... There was something I posted a while ago that shows where Amtrak trains are on the system. Sort
I
of.
need that.
Or you could just do some math and figure out, like on the Amtrak app, when the train would be coming through. Although odds are, because it's Amtrak, it'll be like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I probably couldn't say it.
Well, I mean, you'd be able to see headlights and windows. If you wanted to stay up to,
I didn't.
To see headlights and windows.
Yeah,
Plus
see
I-
headlights
plus
and
I-
windows.
Plus, I took the couch in the other room.
Speaking of
But,
taking the couch, I
I'm
have
not
to
done
elaborate
yet.
on that later.
Yeah.
But on the way down to the hotel, we stopped at Entertainment Junction. That wasn't too much rail fending, and stopped at Cincinnati Union Terminal, which is it's a museum now. It's easily the nicest train station I've ever seen.
Cincinnati, I will give it to it. Cincinnati Union is quite swanky.
Have you seen a picture of the inside?
No.
Here.
I have not seen it. I mean,
Here's the inside.
Got a dome.
It's gorgeous.
Oh wow, that is really cool looking. I'll put this
Oh,
up for
yeah.
you guys to see. I was gonna say it's gonna be tough to top Grand Central because Grand Central was a really good looking station, but this is at least on par.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
This is look at the outside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a picture of the outside of it. Look at this.
Right now, Grand
It looks
Central,
like something out of Star Trek almost, or something out of a Marvel movie.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's. I
See-
think Cincinnati Union is
awesome.
probably the best looking one I've ever seen, and it used to have a big dome on it too.
The problem with Grand Central inherently is the fact that it is
Upstaged by everything around
Yeah,
it.
exactly. It is a tiny building in a world of skyscrapers.
Yeah. Well, it's not tiny; it's just short.
Well, yeah. It is huge underground, but nobody cares about that when you're on the surface.
But yeah, beautiful building. It's it's more of like a science museum now, and I don't know, I just love like all the Art Deco-y style and stuff. It's
Art.
they need to use that more. Come on, please.
Art Deco was lovely.
Yeah.
I don't like Art Deco as
Thir-
much as
30th Street Station in Philadelphia is a nice one too.
Right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I swear, I thought there was an observation area. Like, you could go out past the museum part and look down on the tracks. Unfortunately, you can't.
Well, it's that way in we have that in Albany at least.
Yeah, I mean, if you could go out
But
and
if
look
you-
over
if
the
you-
tracks,
if you
I would
go-
just be there the entire time.
Of course, if you go on the platforms, you get yelled at by angry conductors. But
Yeah.
they don't
Go to
like.
go to
they don't-
Lanc-
Get off of my train!
go
Get
to
out of
Lanc-
town.
go
I don't know.
to Lancaster Station. Half of it's over the track.
You can no longer just wander down there like I did. They changed around the way the barricades are, so you now have to present your ticket before going down to the platform. Before I was just
Thank-
sort of like, let me...
Thank you, Ellis.
Thanks, Ellis.
Thanks, Ellis. You ruined it for everyone.
Well,
Thanks,
no,
Ellis.
No,
now
what
it's
I
not
did,
thanks Obama, it's
I
thanks
didn't-
Ellis.
I didn't ruin it for everyone. I took the fall. Somebody was gonna get yelled at. It just happened to be me.
You realize that that's an extremely sugar-coated way of saying that, and you could technically apply that to everything. Or to most things of that.
Myofagel.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna say that I was,
that's an extreme cop out.
well, if you're gonna say that I was the one that caused it, just by being down there, you could say that anyone going down there would have caused it. So I didn't spoil it for anyone. I spoiled it for one person.
Well, no, that's not true. They're just saying the people who didn't have tickets.
Well,
that doesn't
no.
matter. If they have tickets, it doesn't
The
matter.
crap is that?
Again, you could put that in a lot of different ways.
Oh yeah.
Can I
It was,
finish?
however, you that did it though.
It was me that did it. But would you?
Dang it, I
you
didn't
know,
make it.
essentially,
TJ.
it's just.
It's
would
like
you
we're back to the "you shot me" thing.
No.
Yeah,
It's a, would you rather it have been me that did it or just some random other person?
Mm.
The point is, it was
Maybe
going.
they
to,
wouldn't have yelled at
it
another
was-
random other person.
It was going to happen if somebody went down there. More than likely. And
Can I finish?
And if nobody went down there, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, can I finish?
No.
Yeah, you know, and then driving back towards Columbus, you know, the highway parallels the tracks at several points, and I saw a couple of old towers, you know, just marked up with graffiti, all
Sad
destroyed.
face.
Yeah,
I've tried to get into old towers before.
it's actually kind of cool because at Entertainment Junction they have the they have this big room that they use for like events and stuff, and you know, one of the few permanent exhibits in there is the the control panel from the control tower that was in the I don't know, one of the Cincinnati yards or something till
Is
like the 80s.
Is it mobile? Can you like move the levers?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
from what I remember, there's like a do not touch.
Aw.
Of course, the word not doesn't exist.
Also,
But-
plurals don't exist.
Yeah.
What is that noise?
Anyway,
What is that noise?
Who is
what crap is
scratching?
that? DJ.
Well, it's not me.
Yes, it
I
is.
hear
It is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
TJ. Give him a point for
Yes, just give me a point for
No, but I'll give you a point for making an obnoxious noise. Stop moving around whatever you're moving around.
I'm not moving around now.
What are you doing then?
I'm not doing anything.
You're doing something. You're causing a lot of noise.
That's not me now.
It is you. It's coming through your microphone.
Are you done? Damn it.
Will you stop moving something around? What are you doing?
I'm not moving anything around.
Then what are you doing?
I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting at my computer.
You're doing something because you're creating a lot of noise.
No, that's not me. I hear background noise too.
It's coming through your microphone.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not.
Then who's making the noise?
I'm legitimately just sitting here.
Let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
Steamtown?
Steamtown.
Steam down.
Broketown.
Same
Broke
stuff.
down.
Ooh,
Same
mountain.
stuff that I talked about last week. I
mountain.
think the ice thing is ending soon, which is unsurprising considering they're probably going to run out of ice.
Ice.
Oh wait, there are park alerts in effect.
There's
Huh?
park
Show-
alert.
Wait, what?
Oh, it's just there was a road closure.
Oh.
I was like,
Boo!
I was like, what the
I
hell?
want to see something exploding.
I didn't make it either, James.
I did it.
I'm trying to find the freaking news thing. You know what? Screw it. I'm not gonna find
Filler.
the news thing. Okay, thank you, you stupid.
Don't talk about shit.
It's not very. I was gonna say it's not very nice
What?
talking about JDur like that.
No, the National Park Service.gov website is being incredibly slow right now. I think somebody broke something.
Thanks, Obama.
So-
That legitimately is thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I can talk about something relating to... No, you know what, I'll come back to that. But there's spring track cleanup going on at the main narrow gauge, so if you want to go out there and help, I believe it's April 11th they're doing this. If you want to go out there and help the main narrow gauge, if you're in the area, this is a slow tunnel. You guys aren't going to survive this one.
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Saturday, April 11th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the museum. So they're cleaning debris off the right of way.
Debris.
They're saying
I'm taking a road trip to Maine.
They're saying gas-powered or electric weed whackers are a plus. They're trying to get all the weeds out and stuff.
Debris.
Where's the weed?
So yeah, if you're in the area and you want to go give the main narrow gauge a hand, get on.
I'm taking a road trip to Maine.
Have fun. Say hi when you go by.
Alright.
I'm trying to get to the friggin' park news and it's taking forever. Also, out of Have Engine Will Travel, our friends with Hank, Sadie, and Mac, the 2040s and the 060. Hank is going to be at Owasso, Michigan, at the Steam Railroading Institute from April 16th henceforth. I don't know if he's going to be running immediately because he has to undergo inspection first. This is a dark tunnel and a long tunnel. But on April 21st, they're taking Sadie, which is the 060, to South Carolina, to Winnsboro, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
So if you want to go see either of those engines, that's where you got to go. If you're near those areas and you're hoping to see engines, there you go. Little steam engines coming your way.
Hey, where's Mac?
Mac is not done yet. He's going to be at the Steam Railroading Institute when he's all set. He's like going through the final paces of his reconstruction. So he's going to be
Is
there.
the Steam Railroading Institute like the home base for that?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, sounds right.
So he's gonna be with Hank, but then I think Hank is going somewhere. Hank is kind of their oldie now, so he doesn't travel as much. Kind of funny considering. Hey, this is a cool looking snow shed.
Yeah.
Woo.
That's actually quite a view.
Yeah.
Such snow,
See,
wow.
all this, we get all these cameras where we watch these really, really cool views, and then it's me going, man, I wish I could go out there and ride those rails. You know?
Jeez.
I live.
The noise made me lose.
Anyways, a cool look at the ice industry, a new temporary exhibit, featured through April 26th. So that's, yeah. That's ending shortly. The entrance fee free weekend is coming up April 18th and 19th. So if you want to get out there, get out there. I need to go look at the excursions so we can talk about that.
Over Orgenbert.
Holy crap.
Screwed that up.
How do you pronounce those O's again?
I guess.
It's like, I think,
I remember we were trying to figure it out at one point.
We figured it out at one point.
We just forgot.
I think it's like,
Yeah.
But you know what? But you know what else is coming to Steamtown?
well,
A T1.
Oh, yeah.
So the T1 officially has their, quote, rails to run on.
Steamtown?
The question most asked to the T1 Trust is, quote, where will it run when complete? We are pleased to announce that the Trust has received 3 letters of invitation. So they didn't even prompt. Invitation to operate on various railroad lines around the country. We have received formal letters from the Steamtown Historic Site in Scranton, Pennsylvania. The Steam Railroading Institute in Owasso, Michigan.
Woo, T1 me tank.
And the Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railroad in Independence,
the where?
Ohio.
It's Cuyahoga.
Cuyahoga, sorry.
The what?
The Cuyahoga Valley.
The scenic road up by Cleveland. It's really nice. They run Alcos.
And they say all 3 organizations have a long track record of handling mainline steam locomotives and can easily support the T1 locomotive operation when complete.
Oh, yeah.
Also, they are working on more CAD drawings. They've gotten a little bit farther with their drawing, and it's really starting to shape up. What?
Are they going to run it in the NS Steam program at some point?
I don't know. They're not directly affiliated with NS in any way, shape, or form, but If NS wanted to kind of take them under their wing, I'm sure they would be happy to say, sure, you know.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, I mean, they got
if
a lot
NS
of
would
that.
allow use of their track or something, I'm sure they'd be happy to say, yeah, NS woo.
Well, actually,
T1 over Horseshoe Curve.
If Scranton is saying, hey, come and operate here, that means they kind of already have shoehorned permission from NS, because NS owns the track that runs by Steamtown.
Oh.
It used to be D&H, but as I reported on a while ago, it was purchased by Norfolk Southern.
What's your function?
And it also means they can run up to me.
See.
Anyways. Yeah, amazing stuff.
Yeah.
I was really happy to see that, especially with these 3 places, you know, 2 of which I'm pretty familiar with, and 1 of which, you know, right by JDur. That's an old-looking tunnel. Did you guys see the tunnel portal on that?
No.
Yeah.
That's the kind of tunnel portal I want in trains, but all the ones we have are like, you know, 5 times as wide as the track.
Yeah. They're giant and rock.
Yeah, exactly.
And stupid looking.
One more thing, on the Black River Railroad, there is going to be a comedy night on a train. This is coming up shortly. Hold on.
It's quite a change of scenery.
Oh yeah,
Upset.
suddenly snow.
Welcome to Upset.
If you like snow, if you don't like snow, you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Nice.
Warning,
Welcome
Raymond's,
to Upset. Goodbye,
Raymond,
Upset.
Raymond the Amish comic.
What?
What?
That's
What?
who this guy is.
Oh,
Raymond
God.
the Amish comic.
Straight out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
No, straight out
has
of Ohio.
Has been performing stand-up comedy for 24 years.
And he's Amish? What?
I'm not sure if he's actually Amish, but
How about that?
That,
Houston Nellen.
oh, there are
that
lights in this one.
electricity, haha.
Oh no, it's just windows.
You know, I shun fancy things like electricity.
Flying the Ringos who enjoy live performances by a local country band and Raymond
Whoa.
the Amish comic.
Well, it's okay that he's performing on a train because it's a steam engine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they don't care.
Yeah.
So this is the proceeds will benefit the project to rehabilitate the Alex Saukin division, which is what they're currently working on, to just get more track to run on. This is a long tunnel. So that is going to be on May 22nd. That is the day my classes end. Maybe I should go see Raymond the Amish comic. Warning, Raymond's comedy set is aimed at an adult audience and is not recommended for children.
Dang, I can't go.
Then again, neither is this podcast. So,
Yeah, that's true.
What is this podcast okay for?
Nothing.
I think it's okay for anyone.
well, I mean, the Sasquatch would probably be okay with it.
Wow.
Don't talk about
Okay.
Gator like
Sure.
What?
You know what? I'm gonna come out and say it. I don't care if I get the strike. That was really sell-outy sounding.
Burn.
What the heck? Points.
Why do I get a point?
No, not for you, for Wiebold for making the Sasquatch thing.
That was TJ.
Whoever. Yeah, point for TJ.
Wait, don't talk about Gator like that?
Whoever
Never mind.
made the Sasquatch thing.
Yes, that was him. Oh my god, look at the tiny light at the end of the tunnel.
What happened?
Look at
It's
this.
just dark, and then the tiny little light.
Okay, stop.
It's not getting any bigger.
No, it's not.
What she said.
Oh boy. I'm gonna give myself a point for that because that was kind of mean, but really,
Yes. What the heck,
it
Wiebold?
is something. It is something that was weird though. It is something that is weird though, and I realize how I've written it. It says I hate the EPA Sasquatch.
Yes.
Because I didn't put links to any of these things. Whoops. Okay, so apparently a few years ago, and this is just now picking up steam, a 7-year-old aboard the Durango
Wow.
and Silverton snapped a picture of Sasquatch,
Oh no.
What?
and people are starting to report on it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Link.
Let me see if I can find the article real quick. Yeah.
EPA
A Bigfoot has been sighted near Silverton. Honestly, to me, it looks like a dude in a hoodie. Although I really don't know why it would be there because he's basically walking down the Animus River.
He was going fishing. Come on.
Again, it looks like a dude in a hoodie.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so a recent episode of Paranormal Central on the Dark Matter Radio
Paranormal
Network.
Central. Oh yeah.
Okay. Jeez.
Did you post a link?
So, yeah. That basically is, that's basically it. Somebody snapped a picture of Bigfoot from the Silverton, and it's starting to get a lot of attention.
I mean, I don't want to sound disbelieving here, but of course they snapped a picture of Bigfoot from the Silverton.
Well, again, it looks like a dude in a hoodie. I don't think that looks at all like
what a
you know, like
Sasquatch is.
if you showed me that picture, I wouldn't assume Sasquatch. I would immediately say dude in a hoodie.
Let me see.
I hate the EPA.
Maybe it's a Sasquatch in a hoodie.
Sasquatch in a hoodie. That's what they want you to think.
That looks like a dude.
Silverton, with a population of 629, is gaining attention for a 630th resident. Bigfoot.
Wow.
Great. Just
Definitely a
Look at all
great.
these snow sheds. We just went by like 3 layers of snow shed.
3 little
No shit.
What?
Today we've got mirrors. We have a mirror on the right side of the locomotive.
We do? Oh, we do.
We do.
Wait, we
You
are
can't
on
actually
Dr.
This is a pretty station.
Yeah.
It's in the
view
middle
is
of leading
amazing.
nowhere, so
I don't know why you'd get off the
not
train
really
here.
sure why we're here, because it looks like to the left is just a sheer drop into nothing.
And to the right is snow shed.
And to the right is snow shed, so it's just in the middle of nowhere, but okay. Let's
Wait,
stop anyway.
Was the kid not on the train or what?
I don't know. But
Maybe
I
the
d-
kid
I don't
is
really
the
know.
Sasquatch.
I don't really know how they're explaining this picture, because the article that I read, this isn't the article that I read earlier, but the article I read said a 7-year-old aboard the Silverton snapped this picture. I don't know how he managed to snap a picture of the train as well.
Yeah, I know.
So
Selfie
And second
stick
of all,
to the
train-
invisible selfie
Also, I
stick.
love how-
that's
I love how
definitely
few
a-
people
that's
are in the
definitely a
gondola.
dude.
I love
That's
Anyway,
That's
GoPro
the other
100%
thing, instead of
a dude.
I hate the EPA Sasquatch, it's just I hate the EPA.
Why do you hate the EPA now?
Silverton may be in danger
Silverton may be in danger?
because of Manhattan.
Okay.
What?
The Manhattan Project?
Yes, actually.
What?
I was gonna say there's
Silverton-
no way. See, this had as much to do with Manhattan as rising crime in Manhattan had to do with legalization of marijuana in Colorado. So to
Yeah.
say we've already established the two are definitely not connected.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the Manhattan Project and Silverton are actually more connected than most people will know.
there's a bomb
not
buried
most
under.
of it. A lot of the uranium that went into the first bomb, I believe,
I already
Fat
know where this is
Man,
going.
or was that the second bomb?
Fat Man was the
What-
first one, I think,
Fat Man was the first.
and then
okay.
Little Boy was the
What-
second one.
Most of the uranium that went into the Fat Man bomb, which we dropped on either Hiroshima or Nagasaki, I can't remember
If it was
which
the
is
first
which,
one-
but
if it was the first one,
most
it's
of the
Hiroshima. Hey,
uranium
look at
from
Palmer.
that was mined in the Silverton area and refined in Durango.
Uh-oh.
So the EPA has recently come across this little tidbit of information, and suddenly they're quite interested in the soil around Silverton and its habitability and things like that.
Ooh.
So it could be, depending on how their investigation goes, this could mean a little bit of trouble, because it could mean,
Ooh.
well, A, if it goes to the extreme and they find that, well, this of course is not good and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, then
Well, if
the
it's-
town itself could be in trouble. But more specifically, the railroad could be in trouble because last time we were there, 3 or 4 times it was said, just don't tell the EPA and we'll be okay.
Uh-oh.
They don't necessarily do things that are illegal, but if you get
But
one
they're
of
probably
these,
pushing it.
I was going to say, if you get one of these stiff-collared, bureaucrats in there that's, from Washington, and the EPA is you can't, is a combination of the you can't do that, businessman, and the save the trees, dude.
See, you don't
It's
see
not
you don't
good
see a lot of
for-
those you don't see a lot of those combinations out there. I would figure the
You
field.
don't. You really don't. But
Oh,
we
you're
don't
going
hate
censorship. The
Sorry.
NSA is censoring you.
The NSA.
Vital information for their investigations.
Vital
Someone's about to bust down Wiebold's door and put him in the back of a van.
There's Cherokees.
You know too much.
You know too much. But it's not. It's the kind of thing where they're not technically doing anything against it, but really drawing attention to it isn't great. Because if you get one of these guys that's just thinks he's
hopefully
so important and a soldier of the earth, man. Then if they're stiff-necked enough, then it really could be something bad for Silverton.
Well, keep an eye. Or that's true. If we're talking about the narrow gauge, that is the problem. But generally, the people that are going out there to investigate uranium levels in the soil around a town aren't the save the trees man guys. They're the is this safe guys?
Is this cancer
That too.
guy?
Yeah.
That too. And you look at it like, is this safe? You have giant external moving parts that could crush you, slice you, maim you in any...
I don't mean like that. My point is the people who are gonna be, if there's any semblance of choice in this, which there may well not be, I don't know. But I'm saying
when it comes to the EPA conducting an investigation, I'm gonna say that nobody really has a choice here.
What I'm thinking is the people who would go out and be the guys who investigate uranium levels in the soil around a town are not the same people who would go out there going, we've got to keep the trees.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things that you look at like, really, why would you?
Well, why are they just noticing this now?
Well, it's just now come again. It's a pretty lesser known fact that a lot of the uranium Bigfoot told them. It's a pretty little known fact that a lot of the uranium came from southern Colorado. So they're just now finding it out, and I don't think they had a complaint or anything about it, but somebody might have dug up an old file. One way or another, they've drawn attention to this fact now, and they've decided to conduct an investigation to see, if by their definition Silverton is safe. Is Silverton safe? Yes. People have been living there for 200 years almost. Well, not 200 years almost. People have been living there for almost 150 years.
Yeah, I know, but that was before the uranium. Oh wait,
well,
no, it's not.
No,
just
not entirely, but I get what you're saying, Wiebold. Although on the flip side, it could be just something that people haven't noticed or are attributing to a different cause, like I don't know.
But there's not anything that is attributed to a different cause. If it does make a difference, then it's not making a difference. That doesn't make sense, but at the same time, it does.
If it does make a difference, and people aren't really talking about the difference because they don't really know what it's from, it's not the kind of thing where.
But it's not a big enough difference where it's drawn attention. It's not the kind of thing people.
Or maybe it's just something they don't draw attention to.
But again, though, there's not that you can't really just not draw attention to it. I mean, you notice that the death rate is higher. The death rate in Silverton's a lot lower than most places in the state. I mean, people live. I wouldn't be thinking
of death rate. I'd be thinking of like birth defect rate and stuff like that. But,
well, nobody's born in Silverton anyway.
Well, I mean,
nobody. The people, 90% of the population in Silverton is old retired couples.
Yeah. Well, then it's maybe not something noticeable currently, but it might, it could be something that could crop up.
I stand by the fact that I don't really care what their investigation turns up. I stand by the fact firmly that Silverton is safe. I don't care what their survey says. I've been there personally multiple times. People have lived there for 150 years. Yeah, everyone's cheerful. It's a happy place. I don't care. Silverton's safe.
Yeah, no, but there's probably a thing like...
Call me naive, I don't care. It's safe.
I mean, if it reaches the point where people are dying because of the uranium, then...
That wouldn't be calling you naive, that'd be calling you stubborn.
Both,
It'd be...
I'm 100% behind you.
You'd be naive if they, if they said, no, it's not safe, evacuate everyone, without giving any sort of evidence whatsoever. And then you believe them. That'd be naivety. The flip side of that is what you're talking about, where, you're the stubborn old landowner who's, the ground around you is irradiated, and it's probably, it's getting you water supply, this, that, and the other, and you're like, well, I'll live here and I'll be fine, and then, either
everybody is fine, though. That's the thing. There's not...
Well, no, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but my point is, in the situation where they were to find something, it's not necessarily everything's okay up to this point, therefore...
I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm saying if they do decide to act on it, if they find something, I think it's stupid because there's no...
Well, think about this.
If they deem it unsafe, it's different from what in practice is safe.
Think about this, though. we were talking about this in geology just the other day. There was this guy drilled hundreds of cores into the ground to measure pollutants. It was in a parking lot outside of what used to be a dry cleaners. And the dry cleaner used to use this chemical, which was very toxic. I think it was like perchloroethylene or something. Was one of the solvents in dry cleaning. And you have this perchloroethylene, didn't really know what to do with it, so he just kind of dumped it behind the shop. This stuff takes forever to move through groundwater, to dissipate through groundwater. But it is very bad for your health if you were to ingest even a little bit of it. So you've essentially got this time bomb under the dry cleaner in the groundwater that is very, very slowly leaching towards people's wells. And if it got there, it would immediately start causing a very big problem. You know, it's the kind of thing where it may not be a problem now, but they could discover something that could be a problem in the future. I'm not saying they will, and in fact they may not.
What are they gonna turn up? There's not any uranium there now. There was very little to begin with. They just got it there because it was cheap.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not saying they will. I'm saying that it is theoretically possible that they could find something which will develop into a problem, and they can tell you that it will. And you know, it's not
again.
something,
I stand by. Again, call me stubborn, whatever you want. I don't believe that it warrants doing anything about it.
It may not warrant doing anything about it right now, but we don't know what it is.
It's nothing.
You don't know that.
I stand by that it's nothing.
But you don't know that. Standing by things you don't know...
Everything is radioactive.
Yes, but standing by things you don't know is what gets you into trouble. You need to figure out the answer to a problem, or figure out the answer to a question.
Some things, even though it is stubborn and it might not look great on paper, some things are worth standing by.
Not if it's going to get killed.
Again, some things are worth standing by.
And some things are really not worth being stubborn about.
Like cancer.
Again, this is one that is, for me.
Why?
Why not?
Because it'll get you killed. Could get people killed.
Well, they can stand by it or they can abandon it. I stand by it. It is what I consider my home, and it is what I will consider my home for a very long time.
When Wiebold dies from something stupid, I'm still gonna feel bad.
If I do die from something stupid, it's not gonna be that.
You don't know that.
It's gonna be cancer.
No, I mark my words. If I die from something stupid, it's gonna be fell on a dynamite plunge or something.
Choking on toast.
If you die from something stupid, it's very likely it's gonna be that, because you'd be the one that's too stubborn to leave.
Well, again, it's not. Yeah. Call it stubborn. It's worth being faithful to me. You might not get that, but that's
no.
That's
I
your
don't.
problem.
I don't get dying for the sake of being stubborn.
It's not dying for the sake of being stubborn.
You don't know that it's not dying. I'm making the point where it could be.
Well, no. You're missing the gist of that sentence. It's not dying for being stubborn. Well, it's not about being stubborn about it. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about being there.
All right.
You know, I don't understand the sake of living your life in a hole, even if you like it.
If you like it, then why wouldn't you?
There's a lot more out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot more.
I don't want what's out there.
There's more stuff to like, you know. You don't know what's out there. You don't know
no
you want what's out there.
I don't want to know what's out there. I know what I like. I know who I am.
They said no.
I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with what I like.
There's a lot more holes to explore.
Be more open-minded, everyone says. Be more well-rounded, everyone says.
Okay.
Why? I'm perfectly happy now.
Ellis, you got that right.
All right.
You got that holes joke, Ellis?
Yeah, I did.
I did.
Like the movie Holes with Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, that's a good movie.
That movie wasn't that bad.
That's better.
Alright. Let's move on.
Back to trains, not uranium or Shia LaBeouf.
Marvel, it's still you.
I think that's all I've got for this week.
You've got onions.
That's all I've got this week.
We are in favor of onions? What's that?
Right. We are in favor
Someone's
of onions.
perpetually dropping.
What?
Milky dropped from the call.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God. Milky.
It's not good.
Oh, good.
Well,
We are,
I'll cover his stuff then.
we are in favor of, well, no. Let him cover it.
He'll
Alright.
be back, I'm sure.
We are in favor of onions, though the San Luis and Rio Grande recently voted to side with a union organization or something in a debate that they were involved with somehow.
Okay.
So they're in favor of unions. Woo. Good for them. TJ.
Alright.
I've got nothing.
Great.
I'm not good at this.
Milky, come back.
Milky, come back.
No.
Call dropped. Damn
I'm
it.
calling him back.
Filler.
Well, do you have anything?
Couple things.
Then shoot.
Alright, Midwest Railway Preservation Society still donate to the Roundhouse and 4070 restoration.
Or no.
And the Lebanon Mason Monroe Railroad. What is with railroads and making bad puns? I mean, seriously.
What is
Yeah,
with
I
the
think it
railroad and Mesa?
I think it just breeds that kind of ideology.
Yeah, I mean, you got the cool look at ice industry, the... What else?
Black on track.
Oh, that's not a pun, that's just racism.
Well, no, it is a pun. It's not a good one.
Yeah.
Also,
But-
how is it racist?
Because
I
Jader
don't know.
black on track.
Because JDur says it is.
And
Obviously.
he's black.
Whatever. Anyway. But the Lebanon Mason Monroe Railroad, because tomorrow, or this comes out on Sunday, right?
See.
Yes.
Yeah, so when this
Happy
comes out,
Easter,
it's gonna
everyone.
yeah, happy Easter.
Hockey.
Or in the case of the Lebanon Mason Monroe, Hoppy Easter.
The day Jesus came back from the dead and turned bunnies into chocolate.
Hoppy Easter, not Happy Easter. Hoppy Easter from the Lebanon Mason Monroe Railroad.
Boo.
Thank-
Poppies.
Yeah. God.
I'm disappointed. Whoever came up with that.
I mean, what? Just... Alright. Is Milky back?
Milky's dead. R.I.P. Milky.
Well,
Should I cover his
we
stuff?
can... No.
Yeah, we can backtrack to that.
Alright. We can run in reverse.
We're gonna
TJ.
reverse
I
on
love it.
Massachusetts' narrow gauge.
What? Ooh.
Apparently, Massachusetts had narrow gauge. I would have never believed it. They're like the last state I would expect. Well, maybe not behind Rhode Island, but yeah, the
Alright.
Grafton Center Railroad was chartered October 22nd, 1873, and opened August 20th, 1874, as a 3-foot gauge line.
Yay.
Connection from Grafton Junction with the Boston and Albany Railroad at North Grafton. And it stayed that way for, well, not long.
Milky's back.
Yeah.
It stayed that way for, a solid 13 years. And then the last narrow gauge train ran on July 9th, 1887. The line was converted to standard gauge on September 1st, 1887, and the name was changed to the Grafton and Upton Railroad. And now it's run by, now it's privately owned. It connects from CSX. It connects to CSX at both ends, actually. It's 16.5 miles long.
That's pointless.
Nice.
That's not really that pointless. It's nice to see a little railroad running.
That's
Yeah,
more of
but-
a point than Larry.
Shut up. I wanted to talk about that nature, but
Larry actually goes another piece of track forward.
Have you even connected Albany to the main terminal yet?
still working on that.
They keep screwing up turns.
We're getting there. Penn Central's getting there.
No, you're not.
No, you're really not.
You need to actually be on the server to get there.
Yeah.
Need to do work.
Well, it's hard to. It's very slow.
It is
work
hard
when
to
it's
do
a
work
one-man
without
show.
playing the game.
Yeah, I mean it's
It is
very
to
hard
play
work
the
when
game
it's a.
without playing the game.
I mean it's very hard work when it's a one-man show.
Hey, there's 4 of us.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
only
but
one
you
of
guys
you
are
is ever
never
here.
really.
TJ.
What?
When's the
You're
last time you
never
were
here.
When's the last time you were here? When's the last time you were around?
Today.
I said when's the
Before.
last time you were around?
Like before today.
Because I'll be damned if it wasn't 2 weeks ago for the Terminus podcast.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Forget about it.
We just want to be friends. Like Putin.
I'm gonna keep reminding you, Kevon and Chris to help me.
No, well, next time I have free time,
Chris
I will.
isn't gonna have any interest in it at all.
Putin wants
Yeah.
to be
Chris
friends.
probably forgot about it.
Okay, I'm gonna keep reminding you and Kevon.
Chris was on the server not too long ago.
Yeah, but did he do anything to help his company?
Well,
Oh.
none of his company was on. He didn't know what to do. He was on because I was on.
Yeah, but I'm gonna keep reminding, I'm gonna keep reminding you and Kevon.
Well, actually, you should probably remind TJ to work on his Iron Horseman route.
Oh yeah.
TJ.
It's almost impossible to work on.
Okay,
Was it
well,
almost
then package it away and send it to me. You know, if you told me that maybe, I don't know, 2 Termini ago, so that we could have 4 weeks with somebody else working on the damn thing.
What'd you say?
Good.
If you're not gonna work on it, then give it to someone else because we're
No, if you're not going to work on it, I will take it and give it to somebody else.
Okay,
So-
because like I can't give it to someone with a powerful computer. Like, don't give
Or
it to
someone who
Milky
can handle
because
grass.
I already have
Yeah,
my hand.
Yep. Milky has a.
Milky already
Ton of
has
stuff.
too much in his hands.
Yeah.
that's the reason I can't work on it because I get like 4 or less frames trying to work on it.
I do too, and I get wood done.
Yeah, but it's
Same.
like hard.
Well, yeah.
Shut up.
Oh my. So, on another note, on another note of railroads that can't be built, so the head of Russia's Academy of Sciences said he has submitted to President Vladimir Putin a proposal for building a high-speed railway that would cut across most of Siberia and all the way to the Bering Strait, the strip of water that divides Russia from Alaska. And from that point, they want to connect it to us
Oh no.
with an estimated cost of 17.7 billion rubles.
It's how many dollars?
I have no idea.
Look it up.
I assure you it was fewer dollars yesterday.
Yeah.
Laying rail tracks over permafrost.
1 Russian ruble is 1 cent.
Well, 17.7
It's approximately 1.8 cents is 1 ruble. I knew it was bad, but yikes.
Jesus.
Okay, so
Wonder
how
how-
much was it going to cost?
Well, I think this was... I'm not sure if this was published before or after. It looks like... If it's 1 cent, that's an estimated cost of...
What is it estimated at?
17.7 million dollars. Which...
It's not that bad, really,
No, yeah.
actually.
Yeah, that's...
That's not bad at all.
Ordering the
Nice.
construction of the Bakial-Amur main line. The abbreviation is BAM. As an alternative route running parallel to the eastern section of the Trans-Siberian Railway.
Bam.
The BAM
Oh, no.
construction was praised during... Okay, this was a while ago. The BAM construction was praised during Soviet times as the labor of enthusiastic young builders, but early stages of the construction had been done by inmates of Gulag prison camps, and later phases relied on convicted criminals. So, there really wasn't any job creation going on here. It's just more like... Uh-oh, TJ dropped now. Everyone's falling out of the call today.
Yeah, everyone's just dying. Shit.
And more than... Oh my god! Russia built its famous Trans-Siberian Railway, a network of rail lines from Moscow to the Sea of Japan and the Far East during Tsarist times. At more than... Guess how many?
Call dropped.
Yes, we know.
21.
No.
25.
At
26.
over 9,000 kilometers long,
Not
the railway
coming
is
out.
the longest in the world.
Wait, how many?
Over 9,000.
Oh,
Yes! Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the Trans-Siberian Railway. And speaking of trans fill-in-the-blank railways, Union Pacific, well, let me just say it like this. Everyone's a little CSX sometimes. Union Pacific, outside of Reno, I think,
God damn it.
had a little accident. And by a little accident, it was like 40-something cars
Oh, God.
out of 51. So, like, most of the train.
Most of the train.
Well,
Yeah.
Thanks, Obama.
48 car train derailment causes Amtrak delay in Reno. So they had to reroute a lot of trains. So yeah, they're working on fixing the track now. Oh, that's the mess, and that's a stock photo. But apparently they don't yet know the cause of the derailment. They were just working on the tracks. But this was a while ago, so they probably have a little update by now. They just haven't updated this website about it. Anyways, gonna hand it off here back to Wiebold. Oh wait. Milky, you're back, so you should cover your stuff.
Yep.
Some very important and very groundbreaking stuff here, actually.
Yes. So, fire up 6-7, they got Steam.
Give me steam!
Yes, give me Steam indeed, JDur. Fire up 6-7 has achieved the goal of firing up 6-7.
I mean, it's fired up, but
I'm just surprised that, it's like... Is it exactly a year ago that they acquired it?
Yeah.
That they got it there?
Yeah.
we'll give it to him. NS doesn't mess around when it comes to Steam.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
That's like the second fastest restoration I've seen.
Yeah.
That's when they restored the T1 for the Freedom Train in like a month.
Wait
Yeah.
for time
Other
was pretty
T1.
fast as well when they was originally restored.
Oh yeah, I mean
Well,
they had a deadline.
When you have money, you can do great things.
And a deadline for
Well, heck,
America.
Heck, the what was it? 491 got funded, and they restored it in what 5 months, I think. I mean, we reported tender decking was when they started it. It was at least half a year ago that they finished it.
Nice.
Nice. Speaking of nice things, the
Christine, why
Canadian
can't you work that fast?
The Canadian Pacific business train came to Portland on its Sippers special.
CPX, eh?
What kind of special?
Unfortunately, yeah, it really did. With the nicely painted F units on the front, the private
Oh
barn.
my god! Especially when it comes to heritage equipment.
A.
And,
equipment, eh?
A.
Speaking of stuff that could become heritage equipment soon, Amtrak Cascades 1998 to question mark.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the state's thinking about canning Amtrak Cascades.
Here's the question, though. Does Amtrak really need the state to run at this point? Does the Cascades really need the state to run at this point? Aren't they pretty good in terms of, sustainability?
It's operated evenly between Washington Department of Transportation and Oregon.
Oh.
So
Did they blow the budget on those crappy toggles that go beep 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 beep
No.
beep beep beep?
You sure?
no, they're actually trying to cut the bugs that's on this crappy
Well,
Togo.
yeah, no. My point
Yeah,
is,
get rid of the crappy toggles that go beep beep beep
Oh.
beep 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 beep.
yeah, and
beep,
replace
beep,
them with
beep, beep,
F40s. Reliable, clean F40s.
Yeah, just modernize the internal, the internal parts, and bam.
Well,
Well,
the
yeah.
Rhinos aren't half bad.
Sticking
They're
a
ugly.
nice sticking a nice new diesel prime mover in an F40 would probably do wonders for, an F40. Considering.
Yeah.
If I ever work for like a, like EMD or whatever, I would do that.
We'll just build an F40 shell and then put a new
Yeah,
engine
put like an
inside it.
SC70 Ace motor in it. Something really clean and modern.
I would do something like that, but with an ST9.
Or, some old diesel put like a modern power plant in it.
RS3.
Well, the problem with the thinner body older diesels is they just don't have room inside. If you get
Squish.
if you get like an F40 or a
Shrink
an
ray.
F unit or an E unit, there's a lot of empty space in the body to put that engine, to put that
Shrink
diesel
ray.
engine. You could put something huge. Like,
And the babes go
I
wild.
can imagine, yeah. I can imagine the locomotive version of like a sleeper car. It's like an old E unit with a giant giant engine inside of it.
Yeah, if I ever went to work for like EMD, I would do that.
Yeah,
Bring back
that'd be
E
cool.
units and stuff. Lots of snow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
It's just
been
getting
back.
snowier and snowier.
Ah.
Home
It's
sweet
I
home.
thought we were done with the snow. What the crap is this?
No,
So
yeah.
it's never done.
it's never
Thanks, no
over.
It's
Okay.
never ogre.
Okay. Wait for 49 is planned to be finished this summer in hope to have it running by the Holiday Express in December.
Yay.
So woo, it's about time.
Fins.
And with that, I'm going to welcome two new train stations, the Yellow Ribbon Express. It's pretty much like a Veterans Freedom Train type deal.
It's pretty much Freedom Train Part 2.
And 3.
Well,
Yeah.
Considering
I really
they're
want them to
covering,
go
they're
through with
covering
this.
everything, where the Freedom Train didn't really cover everything.
Where would it go?
There was a stop in I think every state. There was a map on the website.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Milky, do you have a link to
What's it called?
It was a pitifully small
It was.
map that was very difficult to read, and I had to zoom into the page to kind of
Yeah.
make it out. And even then, you couldn't.
What's it called?
The Yellow Ribbon Express.
Yeah.
TJ.
Once again, we're in the middle of nowhere. We're just on a lake this time, stopping.
Wait,
And-
Milky, do you have a link to the Yellow Ribbon?
It'll be in the cargoes as well.
okay, I being from I have a new train station from some fellows out in New Mexico.
Some fellers.
Some fellows.
See.
They're restoring the Santa Fe 44 to operation.
Yeah.
Number 2926.
Well, it was a Niagara.
They're, quite honestly, I prefer the Santa Fe Northern over the Niagara was, but
Niagaras.
personal preference.
You'll be at home.
This is another
Still
40
Mexico.
bucks operating. And the SWX tubes have been installed, and it's probably going to go under hydrostatic testing soon.
Yeah.
Where the heck does it go?
What?
It is a pitifully small map. Pitifully small enough that I can't read where it goes.
No, yeah, no. I was
I saw
basically.
Columbus on there.
I was
I'm like,
basically
yay.
guessing at the town names. It was just sort of like, well,
I can't tell where it's stopping in Colorado though. I can see roughly where it
I
is.
just zoomed
but
in.
I
I
can't,
think it was. Hold on. Where's
I can't
the,
tell where that is.
I think it went to Denver.
No, that's not Denver. The Springs.
Yeah, I think it was Colorado.
It's going to
Springs.
the Springs.
Yeah, that
Cool.
says Springs. Where are they going in Ohio? Columbus,
that is
Dayton, Cleveland. I can't read that.
I'm looking. I'm zooming way in to see. Again, I could only really make it out if they were town names I already knew. It's coming to Albany twice, so whoop whoop.
Ooh.
What is this?
It's going to Providence, as well.
What is this?
The Yellow Ribbon Express. Freedom Train Part 2.
I can't wait until Freedom Train Part 3.
What exactly are they doing?
They're taking a train. They're taking a steam locomotive, hitching up some Yellow Ribbon Express, saying, "We praise our veterans," and driving around the country.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
And according to this article I read on the... Oh, wait, no, this is Milky's thing. Or can I talk about this, Milky?
Feel free to. I'm done with my news.
Well, according to what I discovered this on the forums, and I sort of, spread this around the group, I guess. But, apparently there's, several Class 1s are on board, and, one of them's on board, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah, they're not saying who is on board.
Please be CSX.
If it isn't... Yeah. This is basically... This engine is deep in CSX territory right now anyways. Getting it out is going to be...
You would have to move it on a flat car, or it's not going anywhere.
Well, we don't know that. This is...
What is this engine? Is this 648 or whatever?
614.
614.
614 is the one that is green currently.
Yeah, the friggin'
It's
green
going to be
one.
repainted, thank God.
Thank you. Thank you.
I kind of like the green.
No, they should repaint it.
If it was just a green boiler or something, okay. The entire green? No.
It's all green.
It's not that easy
it's that
being
bad.
green.
Wait, where do you see this?
The only
link
green
stuff?
steamers can be southern.
There's... I think they should paint it they should paint it the dark future paint scheme. The dark blue
No.
with the yellow.
No.
Yes.
JDur, where do you get in the link?
I'll have it here. Hang on. Here.
I don't know I don't know who's singing the national anthem or what it's for, but they're really doing quite badly at it.
What?
In the background, somebody's singing the national anthem for something, and I don't know what it's for, but they're doing
Really?
Hello,
I can't hear it. I
can
don't
hear
really
it
want
What
to.
is this for?
Norwegia.
Norwegia?
Hockey something or other?
Oh, I can hear it now.
I can't. What? Okay.
It sounds like that far away sort of... You know in the Polar Express when you can hear like the record playing from far away? That's what
Sort
it
of,
sounds
yeah.
like.
Ring-a-ling, 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 ring-a-ling.
In 1992, Roland's vision of the 21st Century Limited was taking shape. and that's when 614 got ditch lights.
And goddamn.
Huh.
Why does
Yeah.
it's lights?
Goddamn it,
It
Wallen.
just looks weird.
I know.
Thanks, Steph.
Well, honestly, it's pretty well camouflaged. It's not bad. You know, they're at least inside of a casing where it looks like they're almost supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Better than having no effort at all trying to hide them.
I think they should put a cone on the front.
Conical.
Put a conical.
I just hope they go. I just hope this, this actually happens.
Who's it
Yeah.
got pushing it?
And I really hope that unknown class 1 is CSX.
That'd be amazing to get them on board as the
Or
first.
NS.
It's Roland from the train club.
Yeah. it's
Lord.
Yes, he's a multi-millionaire
It's not-
steam buff.
it's not Ross Roland. It's Roland Morin.
I mean, he's a steam buff, but is he multi-millionaire?
No, he's an electrical engineer.
Must be.
He was hoping I was going into electrical so that I could replace him at the Providence Northern. Because he's tired of fixing everything that we break.
I was gonna say we have like 3 electrical engineers at our club, and they never do anything fun. They're always stuck fixing something.
Yeah, we only have one.
I don't know how many we have.
We have one we have one electrical engineer and one person X.
Yeah. Anything new out of him?
No.
He's been dead and gone. Like he's disappeared off the face of the earth.
Good.
Not that I'm complaining.
I don't
Maybe
think
got-
Imagine if he showed up when I was there today. I would have cried.
That would have been amazing.
He's like, yeah, he just walks in and sees you from the complete opposite side of the building. Hey, TJ.
No, he doesn't like me. That's the thing. He would
No,
go,
he-
hey, TJ.
He flips
hates,
you off.
He hates all of us.
And everyone.
I frankly, I don't think there's a person there that he likes that he doesn't bring with him.
Huh.
Everyone hates him, and he hates everyone, and that's just the way it is.
Huh.
I don't know. John seems to like him.
Right, Meyer?
Right.
But that's because he doesn't like Steam.
No, honestly,
Yeah.
I had a Steam conversation with JB when I was there at the PN.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, he was saying how
Kong's nut.
basically, once again, it works like American politics. There are a bunch of people who really like Steam, so he has to counter them. He doesn't really dislike Steam, he just has to counter the people who really like Steam.
I have always thought and will still think that that's a stupid way of thinking.
Oh, it's a
but
very
okay.
stupid. It's a very stupid way of thinking, but at least it provides entertainment.
It gives
you know-
it gives some. I mean, it's okay to play devil's advocate every now and again, but when you literally base your entire thesis for everything off of just to be,
That guy.
just to throw a wrench in the works, really.
Well, it's because it's these guys versus those guys, and it's just the way the dynamic is. We're all really good friends. We just sort of,
Except Person X.
except for Person X, we just have these digs at one another, like and even beyond that, it's now gone into the realm of like civil engineers versus mechanical engineers or whatever.
Meckies.
Or whatever it is. What the hell is Chris Clegg?
What?
No.
I don't know. Barbecue master. I don't know. Civil engineers versus the barbecue master.
Why? What happened?
No, I don't know, because he was just it was in an email conversation a while ago, and
Meckies.
Let's save this for model railroading.
yeah,
No, let's not.
Shut up.
email conversation where it was just oh, well, I guess he's a civil engineer, so that doesn't mean he gets anything done.
Oh.
Shots fired.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
It was just this whole.
Shots received.
It evolved into this whole back and forth. It was actually pretty great. In the email, so of course it's like a day removed. The next day, somebody replies back.
Yeah.
Well, now that
All right.
we're out of Milky's, now that Milky's back and everyone's here, and we can finally move on and say that, yeah, we entered the RPO car a while ago, but here we are officially in the RPO car. We have gotten everyone out of the previous car now, and decoupled it from the train, and it's rolling away down a hill.
I can't walk.
That's okay. You don't need to. You're doing a podcast.
What?
I don't know how to breathe.
I have no idea how to breathe.
But
Grass Colin.
if those of us at the PN are emulating American politics, at least we're not as bad as the Canadians.
Oh boy, the Canadians. For anyone that's heard about this in the news this week, they know exactly what I'm about to dish
For
out.
the record,
what
I
I'm
haven't.
about to dish out here, because it is so insanely silly that it really is beyond words.
I remember starting a conversation about this with you, and then being like, you know what, or getting sidetracked or something. Well, no,
Well,
you
we
gave
were
me the
texting. We were
beginning.
texting about it, and I said I'll just tell you about it later
Yeah.
because I wanted to hear your reaction in real time. Like, really?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So this essentially is.
You might have to step in and say via rail.
Viral is doing it.
Well, no, sorry. I'm just hypothesizing, because... Never mind.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Well,
Fire away.
anyway, the Canadian government is going to its equivalent of midterms soon, and people a lot of the times will point out in American politics how politicians will often do things that are really, really panderous
Yes.
before they so that they're more likely to be reelected. This takes that to a new level
Uh-oh.
The Canadian government is looking at having Canadian Pacific change out the horns on their locomotives because residents are annoyed by the horns on the locomotive. What would they change it to? Well, they're going to have a poll of what people of the public like. Their choices are a rooster crow, a donkey hee-haw. Yeah, I know it's...
What the hell?
I don't.
Yeah, like I'm not really sure how they're gonna do this.
Also, this is just gonna get people into more accidents. I mean, come on. It's like is a train
driving down the road?
No. It's like is a train coming? Cock-a-doodle-doo! No, it's not. It's just a rooster.
It's just a rooster.
Squish.
Boom.
In that case,
Oh, jeez. It's just I don't really get it. I can't find the article now, which is gonna bum me out if I can't find it.
If you can find it, let me know. I'll put in the cargoes. But Jesus Christ. Wait, no. Wait a minute. When was this article found?
Not long ago. A few days ago.
Did it happen to be 3 days ago?
I don't know.
Someone humor me and tell me what the date was 3 days ago?
I don't think it was an April
1st, which is April 1st.
Well, I'm
At least
just.
I really hope it wasn't, because now we all sound like idiots.
I'm just
I
saving.
mean, we already all.
I'm just saving
already are
for that
idiots,
provision
but yeah.
in case this never happens and it was just like CP trying to pull one over on us.
Well, it wasn't CP that was reporting on it. It was a big. I want to say it was. I don't think it was near. I want to say it was like the Washington Journal or something.
Yeah, obviously CP wouldn't be reporting on it.
Why not?
I don't know. I have smart.
You think railroads aren't capable of releasing their own news?
I have smart in school.
I mean that's what we're here for, but we kind of just get it from them.
Yeah.
We are here to
Okay.
collect your news and put it into one incredibly convoluted and not at all straightforward package that you can listen to and get into deep moral discussions with, and then get distracted and move on with cock-a-doodle-doo. Cock-a-doodle don't.
Yeah, that's that. I really hope that's not an April Fool's thing, because again, now we all sound
Well,
like
I don't
really
know.
big.
I don't know. I really hope it is.
I don't know why we didn't think of that earlier. Actually,
Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna get the text from you and see if
was it on April 1st?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if it was before then or.
I've got my phone right here.
Anyways, somebody pick up the torch while we find these stupid messages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta get some food. Okay.
Was this the
Amtrak.
same conversation we were talking about getting murdered by the bobbler? Oh no, it was April 2nd. Yeah, it was April 2nd. So
Yeah.
I mean, you could have been a day late on it, but if it had come out that day,
I don't think it came out that day. Although if I can't find it now, I don't get. If it was an April Fool's joke and they've taken it down now, I don't know why they hadn't pulled it down.
maybe for people in all time zones to get, but you know.
Well, we're one of the last time zones though,
That's
and I
true.
found it at like 3 in the afternoon.
Okay, that's true.
After it gets to Hawaii, then it.
Yeah,
Something
maybe they were just
resets.
lazy.
What?
Maybe they were just lazy. Yeah, we'll take this out tomorrow.
Yeah, it's possible. That's
Yeah.
quite likely. But
Take this down.
anyway,
Oh my god!
Ow.
That was the Canadian NSA.
sorry, Canada.
NSA.
NSA. We'll talk more about that later. Yeah. Right now, it's time to talk about something very serious.
Okay.
Something large.
Erection
Green.
is
Yeah.
what he's getting at.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, the Grizzly P2 project.
The Grizzly Penis
I'm
Project.
not gonna say the name of the locomotive.
The
Yeah,
cock of the
Grizzly-
North.
The Grizzly P2 project has reached
North Pole.
approximately 1/3 of his funds after just a few.
It's got a little chub going on.
just after a few months of being out and open to the public for donations, it has reached 1/3 of its financial goal at £1.7 million, which is approximately, it's like three.
It's like
It's in the
twice as
range.
many.
It's in the range of like $3.5 million.
Jeez.
Something like that. But that's a lot of money to be raised, and it took them 18 years nearly to raise the money to build Tornado.
And now they're
So-
already
And now that they have a reputation for doing really cool stuff, they're able to get this financial support that they need
See, if only we could do
and
this for the
support
T1
these guys,
project.
because this would be another great thing to see.
Oh yeah,
If only that could happen.
you really
in
want to
America.
see that cock of the north.
Yeah. It's expected to be complete by 2021, which again,
21.
it's more or less depends on when or how
It depends
quickly
on a
they
lot
get their
of
funding.
variables. We know.
Although it depends, the biggest variable in that is their funding,
Yeah.
undoubtedly, because most of the guys that work on this are retired or at least in a position where they have plenty of free time for it,
Cox.
and it's a little bit like the T1 project in that, like Tornado, for
Just
instance,
random cocks.
TJ.
it was like Tornado. It was getting, or Tornado was getting fun. Or English, how does it work?
We
Tornado
really don't
still
know.
needed money until the day it was completed. Really, it was always a little bit behind. If they could get the full budget paid on this thing, I don't think it'll take them 6 years to build it.
It won't. We know it won't. Even the T1, although this is longer than.
If the T1 were to suddenly have all the funding it needed, 6 years is a long time for it to take to build.
Yeah, they were.
Completely funded, it can only take so.
The problem is, again, they're doing a lot of this very methodically. The T1 project, they're not a very good example of just going to straight out rebuild a locomotive, because they're not just rebuilding a locomotive.
Right.
They're building a new one from scratch.
They're going from, well, yeah, but they're going for a specific version of a kind of odd class, which is, on top of that, a very large locomotive, which is, I'm not entirely sure it's possible to find a place that will cast a single piece that big anymore. So,
Strasbourg.
no, Strasbourg is not capable of laying the frame of the T1 in one pour. They made a keystone plate really good, but
Well,
Wow. Do you know what they're calling the engine?
what?
The Prince of Wales.
I thought it was Cox.
No.
I speak well.
BS.
I speak well.
I don't do a good well. Sorry.
We could make fun of somebody fat here.
Oh. Thank
Something
you
other
points
than
at making me
that.
pick up on the hint that I somehow didn't get. Wait.
Points at Pennant guy.
What?
Points at pennant guy.
Points at that.
Hang on, what were you hinting at there?
What?
Never mind.
I'm saying we're making whale noises. TJ or Milky said he wasn't good at whale noises. We could be
Sorry.
like, well, certain person I'm sure is good at whale noises, implying they're fat.
Points to Pennant guy.
Yeah.
Are you wanting me to go back to the Taft thing?
No.
Okay.
No.
But we could.
You're being very nondescript, and I'm quite confused.
William Howard the tub can't even handle me right now. Taft.
William Howard, the engine can handle me, Taft.
Car.
There is a specific reason for that title?
Yes, because 168 pulled Taft and handled it.
Okay, good for him.
Hey. Are there any trains on this route besides
I
ours?
don't
I mean,
know.
seriously.
We passed a couple
So
of
far, there's
stations.
just snow.
Also, what is that tunnel off to the left there?
I don't know. I've
There
been
was-
looking at that.
There was a buffer in front of it. It's probably like a mine or something.
Mine.
I bet the whole place is irradiated.
That tunnel's been haunted. That tunnel's home to ghost pirates and orphans.
Ghost pirate ninjas.
Ghost pirate orphan ninjas.
And people talk about that.
There's gold in them their heels.
There's gold in them their hills, haunted by the ghost pirate ninja orphans.
That'll give you cancer.
That'll give you cancer. Great.
Thanks, Obama.
Oh boy. And I would say that that would be the best title for this episode if the next one isn't just... If I don't just love the next one more. I saved Amtrak.
You saved Amtrak.
I saved Amtrak. We had a... So in my advanced placement government class, we each had to choose and represent a bureaucratic department in the government to defend their funding. And I chose the Department of Transportation because I'm fairly acquainted with it and, know a little bit about it at least.
From Minecraft.
I was able to convince the class of quite conservative advanced placement students that the Department of Transportation was more important than the Department of Defense, the Department of Homeland Security. It literally was the most important thing in the world. Only seconded by only second to the Department of Justice.
Because justice must be served.
Because justice.
I like my justice steamed.
Justice
justice steamed.
Justice is a dish best served on a train.
And
Justice.
On a steam train.
Choo choo.
A game theory.
Also, I'd like to point out that the advanced placement students cut education.
They did also cut education.
Wait, did they cut anything?
They cut NASA, they cut agriculture. They cut NASA, they cut agriculture, they cut urban and housing and urban development.
Sharpens knives.
Sharpens pitchfork. Oh wait, you can't afford them. The department's been shut down.
Oh.
I have a spike hammer in my basement.
It's been confiscated.
Why do you have a spike hammer?
My mom found it on Craigslist and she picked it up for like $10.
What?
A spike hammer.
Why does somebody have a spike hammer?
Merry
Should
Christmas, here's a
be
spike
concerned
hammer.
about this person's mental state?
I don't know.
They're selling it, so obviously they're fine.
Yeah.
Unless
Why
it's
do they have it?
And now I own it.
Unless it's covered in blood. In which case, they're trying to get rid of evidence, guys.
Yeah,
I tried to use it
in
to
which case we
remove
really should be questioning.
I tried to use it to remove ice from a trash can. Or from around a trash can because it was
What
stuck.
we should be questioning
Didn't
is,
work too well.
it's JDur. Because
What?
why would his mom, or
He's trying
JDur's
to
mom,
commit
JDur's
murder
mom, because why would she want a spike hammer
to give to JDur.
Yeah.
to kill people?
No.
Wait, what? I don't think JDur's mom wants him killing people.
You don't
Yeah.
even know.
You don't
That's
know.
what War
Diana
Thunder's
say.
for.
They need to protect their land.
There's gold in them there hills, and it's gonna be taken by the flying ghost child orphan people eaters.
I really hope this conflict is resolved before somebody finds oil under that lighthouse.
Although we know how it's gonna swing if somebody finds oil under that
It's
lighthouse.
gonna swing to the people with
Protesters.
more guns.
I was gonna say, it's gonna very quickly swing to, yeah, now we have
Protesters.
legitimate interest in this. It's ours. I did
Mine?
get
But what are you gonna do with the Canadian lighthouse? You're gonna be occupying a Canadian lighthouse.
Yes. We are invading Canada.
We're invading Canada by proxy. By proxy of these two tiny islands that nobody even cares about.
Now we care about it.
Now, well, I'm sorry. That America cares about.
America. America. Wake up, America.
God bless. Alright, moving on.
Tower of bacon and spoons.
I will.
Again, I still feel like the British are more smug, more notoriously smug.
They're definitely better at being smug. Americans lack subtlety. But we make up for it in guns.
And justice. That was weird.
And Amtrak.
Slightly
Okay.
off topic, as if we weren't already far enough off topic. The German exchange students, which I think I mentioned before. On
Ooh.
Terminus.
Hot.
Yeah. Yeah, they were doing a game where we basically all sit in a circle, and if
Duck, duck, do.
no, not Duck Duck Goose. Somebody goes into the middle and says, I like neighbors who blank, and if the blank
I hate
applies
that
to you, then
game.
you go. And you
Wait,
hate that game.
Yeah, I just hate
We
all
love
like
it.
the
We love it because it's either that or mindless German work, and also at the same time, everyone gets really into it,
Yeah.
and so people are getting like thrown out of like it gets rough.
Oh God.
Yeah, but anyway, one of the questions that the German asks is, you know, everyone who owns a firearm, and like 90% of the class
Oh,
stood up
no.
and ran. You know, all the other German exchange students are just kind of sitting there watching.
Like, uh-oh.
Yeah, and here goes everyone. You know, don't tick off them. Don't tick off them. Don't.
Yeah. No wonder why we lost the war.
America, wake up, America.
All right, trying to get back on topic here. Milky, take it away.
Okay.
How about do the depressing one last?
Okay. Oh.
Bridge.
Okay, Central Oregon and Pacific got some new whales to rebuild their Siskiyou Pass 9.
Their what?
Siskiyou Pass.
Where is this?
Southern Oregon.
Photo 1.
Northern California.
The
These-
regular Black Butte to Weed
I've
Train.
never heard of them. I'll be
The
completely
Weed
honest.
Train.
Central Oregon and Pacific. You probably heard of them in one way, shape, or form. Because
The
back
Weed
then,
Train. Wait, there's a weed train?
I guarantee somewhere in the world there is.
No, right here. Look at the link. The regular Black Butte to Weed train leaving for weed.
California.
You're
California.
where?
I'm getting on.
Wheat Bridge.
I'm getting on the weed train.
Thomas the Dank Engine.
Now,
So
California.
it's not.
No. There was no.
Thank you, Oregon.
Oregon.
Thank you, Oregon. Thank you.
The UP train arrives from Pueblo.
See.
See?
So they pretty much got New Whale to rebuild their line to SAFSA, which is in
Yeah.
California.
We tapped the engine.
What?
And the branch line happens to be a formerly Southern Pacific branch. Like,
my God.
Unsurprising.
and up until 2006, there were semaphores on it.
Aw.
And then they finally took them down because they realized we have 2 of these left, and we're spending time training engineers on 2 signals.
Well,
It gets
Wait,
to a
why
point
who
where
gets
it gets to a
who's
point where
it's easy.
Strasbourg?
it gets to a point where it's a losing battle. That's like Norfolk Southern training all of its engineers to run 611 if you know the need were to ever arise. Or a better example would be Union Pacific training all of their engineers to run 844 should the need arise.
Oh wait, it doesn't run. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, in a perfect world.
Yeah.
In a perfect world.
in a perfect world, it would make perfect sense because there would be because steam would still be around.
Well,
Usto sit.
perfection is relative. You know.
I think my video effed up. Where are you guys?
It is relative.
Yeah. It's sorry, that wasn't the word I was looking for. It's subjective.
It is subjective. I don't think that they're perfect.
This is perfect.
Wait,
I would not want them in any other way.
wait. Who said Strasbourg?
Nobody said,
What? What station?
nobody at
Someone
any point
goes-
said Strasbourg in this conversation.
No, someone goes 2 signals, and then someone goes Strasbourg.
I think it was you.
No,
that
that was
was
not
you.
me.
Who the hell said Nobody said Strasbourg.
I thought it was.
And we're in the middle
TJ, I
of
think
nowhere
you're-
again, stopping.
I thought
No,
J-
there was a town to our left. We passed it.
Oh, okay.
I thought JDur said it.
We've got a
Wasn't
lake
me.
to our right.
I think it was you,
A lot
JDur.
of
Wait.
these things are on lakes. You know, what stuns me is the fact that we're so high up and there are these enormous lakes. Not
Yeah.
only that, we're so high up, everything's covered in snows, and everything's covered in snow, and there are these enormous lakes of still liquid water. Like the Hudson froze when you looked at it funny. What's with these lakes? What are they putting in these lakes?
I don't
Dang.
know. I don't know why the Hudson is freezing so easily.
I don't know either, but
Dank
Like
Lake.
we have lakes like this up here when it snows and stuff like this.
Dank Lake.
the Hudson's good at freezing, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't get why the
Amtrak.
Hudson freezes so
Amtrak
easily.
thing.
Amtrak, the southbound coast started at number 11
Starlight.
in Washington became Yates. because someone got in the way and got squished.
That was a really I don't know. That was quite a way to put it for a minute.
Yeah,
there.
that was oddly.
I'm sorry we're late. Somebody got in the way.
Oh, we're moving again.
Are they dead?
Yeah,
You didn't pass.
they were very
You
bad.
didn't pass. You died.
Oh, we shouldn't be laughing.
When you flip your car in the desert, saved only by the. You flip your car in the desert at 80 miles an hour and
No,
do
it was
several
180 miles an hour. You didn't pass.
You don't
died.
pass. You die.
What is that from?
I'll send you the link to the comment later. I'll put in the cargoes as well.
That's all my
Alright.
news.
Oh.
JDur, do you have anything?
Yes, the railroad to Key West. Back in the 1930s, I
Only
think.
slightly more useful
Oh.
than the railroad to Hawaii.
Yeah.
From Hawaii.
What?
The FEC decided to build a railroad over the sea to all the islands in the Keys,
Mhm.
including Key West and everything.
Welcome to the Hotel of California.
That's nowhere near California.
I don't
What
know.
the
It's on
hell?
the other side of the
I already
country.
said Keys, and I thought Stoner.
You are not doing the Eagles justice, Wiebold.
I know I'm not doing the Eagles justice that was meant to be with an
Shame
accent.
on you.
Oh, and you were doing any better earlier.
What was I doing earlier?
Versed.
First?
Uh,
Oh,
First.
okay. But, wait. Oh, here it is. Right. So in 1912, the railroad from Miami to Key West was finally completed. And then in, I think Labor Day 1935, hurricane happened and destroyed the railroad.
Yep.
That reminds
It was,
me.
And now it's
it was a very short-lived railroad, and now it's an abandoned bridge.
Yeah, and now it's a highway, but
Well, it's not the same.
link that'll
It's not the same bridges.
the link that'll be in the cargoes has two of the interviews with two people who remember traveling on it when it was a railroad, so that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at the video, but
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be in the cargoes.
That reminds me of another railroad that got bounced out.
The Tillamook line.
boo.
It reminds me of a railroad that was washed out.
Moo.
Not moo.
Moo.
But
That's
that
one
isn't
of-
our locomotive this week.
Oh, is it time? Is it time for the thing?
I think it's time for the thing.
What the?
Alright, we're going against... It's the two sides of the pond fighting. So, in this corner, we have the USA... Is that 180s or 180S?
160s.
That's
Why
a
is it
6?
the 180?
That's not a
S160s.
Why is it the 180?
Anyways, these weird-looking guys. And in the other corner,
Weird looking. They're beautiful.
They're weird.
yeah, just like a brick wall. And on the other hand, we have these.
Well, you seem fairly fond of... You'd seem like somewhat... Out of anybody here, you'd seem like the one who would see the beauty of bricks.
I do.
Beautiful. Don't you say
Bricks.
otherwise. The 8Fs... The 8Fs are just a different kind of...
Weird.
They're just... eh. They're just meh. There's
Meh.
nothing... Not unique in any way. These ones are cool looking.
I mean, to be fair, the British stuff did kind of... It was kind of...
They can't pull.
Well,
I don't
that
think
too.
It's a different kind of pretty, though.
Well, yeah. No, I mean, it's smooth. But, it's kind of the same all around.
They're made to be very elegant, but at the same time, we did better as far as elegant goes, and we also did better for pretty. So without any more preliminary disses, let's get this going.
Further ado and further a don't. Alright. Who's gonna take the first shot? Actually, wait. Filler for a minute. You guys look over your stats and figure out what you want to do. I need to put down these guys in the dock, in the cargoes, for everyone to figure out.
Okay, for anyone that doesn't know what these are...
I put them up on screen.
Sabal.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a S160.
Yes, S160.
You wrote 160s.
Damn it, Wiebold.
Well, they're plural.
Well, we've never done. Well, okay, no, we have. I was about to say we've never done multiple locomotives at once, but yes, we have.
It's a class.
There's that one time.
The 3 Vulcans.
3 Vulcans.
The
Three
Vulcans.
Wait.
All right, now I can get ready to start words. Now I can get ready to start tallying points, so you guys figure out amongst yourselves who's gonna fire the first shot.
Milky, would you like to take the first shot?
Two.
Yeah, I think Milky would be words go.
Milky.
Okay,
Wait, Milky,
Captain.
you have to be British.
No, he doesn't.
Oh.
Hello.
Milky's tough enough to understand sometimes.
Okay. Alright.
Stop making fun of Milky.
Gosh, yeah. I have feels too, gosh.
Well, that was uncalled for.
You have the feels, just don't be British with them.
Okay, chapter Bedford.
Attractive effort is... Where's my attractive effort? 31,490 pounds. You beat me by just...
32,438.
Alright.
Say, Milky? Why
Mind blown.
trying to say stuff.
32,000.
Oh wow! It did somehow.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
1-0 Britannia.
Wait.
Okay. You go again.
No, Britannia.
Okay, wait. Total.
Weight total?
Uh-huh. Engine and
124 tons.
125.
Ooh.
I win.
Yeah, but is that good or bad, though?
British loading gauge is smaller. Much smaller.
Yeah.
Plus, when you watch as much steam locomotives and profiles both of us do, you know that weight on a lot of the really old bridges over there was a really big problem a lot of the time.
I feel like we could swing that either way, though. I
We
know what you're
could,
saying,
but again, they ran mid-19th century locomotives until the end of steam because of weight and size constraint. Like, they didn't have big systems like the Pennsy and stuff. Their stuff was ancient for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
It was very rare that you had a system that could, weight restrictions on bridges were extremely common.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well.
So I'd say that weight
is...
is...
the ability to ninja your way over...
Yeah, but
bridges.
what if those engines came to America, though?
But,
You wouldn't
but
be
what
able
if,
to-
but if the American engine went to Britain, it would have an easier time.
Yeah, but it's
Is
one
what he's
more
getting
ton.
But the American engine is in Britain.
Well, then there you go. I don't know.
They're not. These aren't just any American. These are the American locomotives that we sent the British in World War II.
Oh, okay, that would have been good to know.
Yeah, I would have.
I did ask if anybody wanted to know briefly what these were, and you said that. Oh no,
Well, no,
sure.
I thought you were talking about what they looked like.
No.
Because we talked so much about what they looked like.
Okay. Well, I also assumed that that was implied by the class. The S-160s were a class of 280 that we sent to the British in World War II, and they still have quite a few of them to this day. There are currently
Do any of
six
them run?
There are currently 6 S-160s. One of them's undergoing a major overhaul. One of them is running. Another one's in China. Another one's running.
Another one's
There's
in
two of
China.
them. One of them's in China. 2 of them are getting an overhaul, and the other 3 run.
Alright. That's pretty fantastic. Milky, how many of yours are there left?
A number of them have survived, but only one survived with the 9 LA
Gelio.
Oh, I don't even.
What?
I don't
Only
even.
one survived.
With it.
They've got the way that it's written on the website. That's not his part. It's written really badly on the website. I don't know why they're 8F. I feel like you're gonna blow me out of the water here because they are
British.
They're British and they're a pretty standard and a pretty good class. I think there's quite a few of them left. Plus, they're exported all over the world, so their preservation
Could go either way.
There's 16 of them.
Ooh,
Yeah.
the snarky little
There's-
Brit pulls ahead.
So 2-1 Britain.
2-1 Britain. Come on, win this for America.
I will win this for America.
Okay.
Milky, you're up.
With guns.
Great area.
Great area was 28.65 feet. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. My great area was 41 square feet.
My area was 28.65.
Okay,
Alright,
so I basically
Bigger
blow
fire.
you out of the water there.
bigger firebox.
Yeah.
2-2. Wiebold fire.
Yeah. How are your cylinders?
Cylinders.
They're cylindrical.
Thank you.
They're 18.5x
By what?
by 28.
Okay.
About 20.
I've got a larger bore. I've got a slightly larger bore at 19,
Hey,
but
look,
you've
they're
got a.
waving to us.
Hey, bye, hi guys.
Baby foamer.
Future farmer right there.
look at the head is coming.
Wow.
You've got a slightly. I've got a slightly larger bore at 19 versus 18, but you've got a slightly larger stroke at 28 versus 26. So I'll go again.
I'll leave that as a tie.
Okay, what is your boiler pressure?
Oil pressure 225 psi.
I'll go again because it's exactly the same.
Wow.
What
Wow.
is your... I need to just be looking at what I can beat you at.
No, just pick something.
Okay, how big is your boiler?
How big is my boiler?
Your max
Max-
diameter.
Busting my buffers.
5'8.375 inches.
I've got 5'10", so I'm slightly larger. Slightly larger boiler. How big is your superheater?
Superheater 215 square feet.
Oh, 480 square feet.
Oh.
Ugh.
And these American engines were powerhouses, which is kind of unsurprising.
Yeah, how about your flues? How many square feet of flue space did you have?
345
567. How many
Dang.
square feet of tube space did you have?
Series of tubes.
square feet. Okay. 1,134.
Ooh, okay, so we've got 1055. You win there.
Alright, now it's 3-5, not counting the ties.
Okay.
3 to 5. Wait, who's up?
Heating surface.
The Americans up.
Total.
Oh yeah.
Wait, who's winning?
You are.
Heating.
Oh, cool.
America.
Considering you just trounced him on like 3 different things in a row, I don't know how you think you weren't winning.
And just the cart.
Man. What are we doing?
Heating surface.
The Terminus
Total.
podcast.
Thank
building
you.
podcast.
Sorry, my sister's trying to tell me something. I'm trying to have 2 conversations at once. What are we doing?
Heating surface, he said.
Total.
Eating surface. Total. 2,253 square feet.
Damn it.
I blow you out of the water.
I knew you weren't going to be able to win that one, Milky.
What is your maximum axle load?
16 tons.
15 tons. So again,
So-
because of their weight restrictions, I'd win there.
Because less weight.
Yeah. Axle load wherever you are is really bad because that is what beefs up the gate or the size of the rail that you need.
Yeah.
Weight is good, but axle load is really not usually.
Yeah.
And then we got
Your motion is wall charts.
That's why the S1 and the S2 needed 6 axle trailing and leading trucks.
come again.
Your motion is wall charts, correct?
Motion. Yeah, it is.
Are you both wall shirts?
Yeah.
Mm.
How long is your engine?
Oh,
How long is it?
Yes, wheelbase. Sorry.
Wheelbase. Okay. 26 feet.
Total.
Oh, total. 52
What-
feet, 7.75 inches.
I'm exactly 1 foot less at 51 and 7.75.
I mean, I guess that's what they got by chopping off the end of the boiler. It looks like.
I guess. What? Hey. Hey.
Wait,
Hey.
chopping off the end of the board.
Hey.
Oh,
They removed the tip.
They're beautiful. Shh. They're beautiful.
it's just the tip.
Don't mock them. They're gorgeous.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
I think that's about as far as we can go on statistics. I'm gonna go for some style points.
Oh,
In that we sent these to we threw these together pretty much on just spare parts. They weren't like a collaboration or anything. They weren't supposed to be great. You know, they're meant to send over there to help with the war effort. They weren't meant to do a lot, and yet they're better than what's considered one of their finest designs in freight ever.
yeah. That's because
And-
Licky.
Yeah, because Licky. Because when you think about it, sure, it's on the flatland. It doesn't really matter, but when you think about the topography of the Earth,
Yeah.
nothing is really optimal for trains, and you need to be able to climb hills, and you need to be able to work in tight-ish spaces.
Unless
Well,
you're
yeah,
in
but
like the Great
Britain-
Plains.
Britain doesn't
Right.
really have a lot of hills, though.
Unless you're on.
They don't have a lot of hills, but when their locomotives struggle to get up a grade of 2.5%, like that's not what we consider a very big hill.
Oh, but
Like
but they have the steam speed record. Not for long.
Yeah, that one is again questionable as it is now, and we'll soon confirm.
You blew up the engine doing it, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were
again,
going
that's
down a
considered
hill.
their finest in passenger design, and we at least have claimed that we've crushed it and done it, just to make up time. We're not sure about that one, so I'm not going to do anything about that. But
Well, I mean, I'm sure if you asked the mechanics who had to fix those goddamn poppet valves, they would be pretty sure.
yeah, I'm also going for a style point in that we had a standard, American control.
PRR is listening.
Yeah. We had a standard American control mechanism, which isn't what you'd think. You'd think that it'd be bad for the British. However,
They liked it better.
they did a number of. It's different slightly in that it is left-hand drive, like most British steamers are. However, unlike most British steamers, it has a lever Johnson bar rather than a screw.
Oh yeah.
And British crews said that they liked this better because it didn't break as much. The screw, you can imagine, would be
Blue Peter
it'd
slip.
be extremely heavy with the thermal contractions and stuff. It'd be really unreliable. Whereas the lever
Shout
that
out to
we're
the Blue
used to-
Peter slip.
Yeah,
The what?
The Blue
Oh,
Peter
is
slip.
that the engine that like basically tore itself apart?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
The screw reverse whipped back and broke the guy's
Oh, yeah,
arms or
that's
something.
right.
yeah. It's not. Plus, it's unsafe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's you of all the things in a locomotive to be unsafe, the reverser is not the one I would expect.
yeah. Also, that style points that I think one of them is still in Germany. I think that they're still using. They left a bunch of them in England, and then they built. I don't know how many of them were actually built, but they left a bunch of them in England to do domestic type freight, and then they actually took a bunch of them to Germany and Italy as well, and did Allied freight service there, and just left them. A lot like the S100s.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm also going to go for style points because they look really cool.
Wait, do they have the air compressors on the front?
Yes.
I'd say that's a style.
They almost
I
look
disagree.
like
we
a
need
K28.
the tiebreaker TJ here. TJ, do you think they deserve a style point for looks?
Yeah.
The S160s? Yeah?
Yes.
Yay.
Alright, why is
For
Steam
votes?
open? Yeah, I think
Milky,
I'm done
you
style
got
points.
anything
Yeah,
you think?
Milky, do you want to offer anything up?
Besides the fact that I'm boned.
Boats?
In other words, America. And you actually changed my mind in the midst of this, talking about the
Yeah,
style points.
S160.
I
America.
was gonna go with the cheeky Brit, but I'm gonna go with the S160 as well.
Why would you go with the cheeky Brit?
Because I like the way it looked.
Ah.
But, you know...
Wait, then how did I change your mind?
With the,
America.
This is one that you're either going to love how it looks or you're going to think it's god ugly.
Oh, no, it is god ugly, but the mechanical advantages won me over.
Alright, cool.
I think it's just the air compressors on the front.
Deducted.
You do get a point deducted. You only had one.
And I'm back to 0.
You know, I was tempted to give you a second one earlier. I should have given it to you.
Well, the board currently, everyone has 0 except for TJ, who has 4.
Yeah.
What else is new?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just the air compressors on the front that,
It just
give me
looks
this
cool,
feel.
I think.
Yeah.
It's almost like it almost is like a standard gauge version of the K28 now that I look at it.
Yeah.
I've really looked at it like that, but
I love the
On the model
K28s. I don't know why. They're just awesome.
TJ, go ahead.
What do you mean? Oh, point?
Vote.
No.
Yeah, like vote. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say the America.
The America, yeah.
America.
Yeah.
So that makes it 10-3 in the points and 3-0.
what we need to do is get an actual Brit that really knows, because even I'll admit that was a little bit unfair just because it's...
Get the dude from Steam Locus and Profile.
You went for the jugular, especially when you were going through the fire grade areas and stuff.
I went for the jugular from that standpoint, but Milky didn't have any like style point, like things I didn't point out that I even made mental notes to myself of. I know it crushes the S160s as far as numbers produced. Numbers of survivors is a big one that it also crushes. It had, I think it had a larger. It had more water capacity, I think. It had a few. It is. I do still believe that the 160s are mechanically superior, but we need to have somebody that is like legitimately interested in representing
somebody
the
get a
8Fs.
Brit on the phone. I only see.
Get the dude from Steam Locus and Profile.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Somebody that really does know British locomotives and how this is.
Somebody shoot him an email. I'll totally have him on the Terminus.
If we can do another one like this where we do English versus American.
I need to designate someone my
Britannia's
PR because I'm just not good with shooting off emails to people.
I could
What if we did the S100s versus, I don't know, like an austerity tank or something?
What were the S100s? I don't even know. Oh, hey, look, another train for once.
Train! Hey, train!
Was that like a chemical container right up against where the locomotive was?
Yes! I noticed that, but was like...
DHL.
I didn't think it... Was that a container that had a giant beer painted on the side?
No, it was like... Because they don't... Like, tank cars aren't their jazz. They just, like, put a cylinder in a box.
Cylinder in a box.
It's in the box.
Alright, TJ, talk about Providence Northern.
Whoop.
Yeah, well, today I went to the
Hey,
Providence.
another train. It's like an F unit. Train.
Except it's double-ended.
It's like an Australian F unit.
Double ender.
Bigger
with some freight.
Bigger.
And so I went to the Providence Northern, and it was only for a couple hours, but I went.
I'll say I also went to the Providence Northern, but on a different weekend.
Yeah.
And screw you, TJ, you weren't there.
But so I went, and they were let me run a 2.8 or 2.10.4 maybe, 2.8 or 2.10.4. I'm not sure which one.
2.10.8.4, yes.
No, 2.10 or 2.
The 2.46.8.10.
But yeah.
Glorious Soviet super locomotive.
So he let me run that, and it had wow sound, so that was an experience.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Sound. Wow.
And I played around with some totally not a foamer whistle.
He was really happy about the whistle on this thing. It echoed, so it was pretty cool. But he was way too happy about this whistle.
Can you explain to us why you were so happy about it?
Is he dead?
No, I'm here.
Yeah.
Explain to us why you liked
you
this
what?
whistle.
You
Why
can-
it gave
you
you a
can
train
talk, you know.
over.
Well, it was 475's whistle, so.
Ooh, Strasbourg.
And then
I
so
didn't say it. He knew that you'd say that.
It needed to be said.
I did.
Strasbourg represent, I guess.
Represent.
and like the way and like
It sounds like he's trying to get through a mission in GTA. That's why he's a little bit distant.
Dude,
And-
look at the tracks to the right. It looks like the Arctic, and then, well, it's gone now, but there was a city off to the left, and it looked like Italy.
Viva la Italia.
Italy has some pretty solid mountain ranges, I'll tell you.
Well, yeah, but it looked like, sorry, the, I don't know what that area is called. Like, the coast.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Oh, I
that's
see
still
what
the
you're looking
Riviera, or... It looks like something you take a Viking cruise through. It doesn't look like the snowy...
Viking does not equal Italy.
Well, that's what
And,
I
and
mean.
by the way, we're in Norway, so you're not really that far off when you say Viking.
Well, hey, I'd take it because I was calling your country pretty, but you know what? Now you can deal with
Well,
it.
you called
so.
it Viking. Come on.
I didn't call it Viking River Cruises.
yeah, my mom always talks about how she wants to go
Like
on
something you take a
she's on-
Viking River Cruise through.
No, my mom talks about it all the time because she watches that show Downton Abbey,
Yeah,
and like there's always the thing after for them.
for the Viking River Cruises, yeah.
I don't. I just assume you're going on
Nope.
about Vikings.
No, I'm not calling them Vikings.
Damn
Okay,
it,
well,
Kelly.
Viking River Cruises, it's a company that does like river cruises up and through Europe, specifically around the Italian coast, the French Riviera, and like up the Rhine River.
Okay, well, if I'd known what that was.
Okay, well, I
That
didn't
would-
know that you didn't know what that was, and the way that you responded made me think that you did, and that you were just being ingrateful.
But, you know,
Anyway, continuing on.
they have kind of an unflattering name, don't you think? It's like
Not
they're
really.
they're gonna blow up the boat or throw you overboard or something. Come on, Vikings.
Viking baptism's the same thing as a Viking funeral.
Yeah.
They both involve a boat and a lot of fire.
But anyway, so I the button to like change the whistle was 9
999.
on
Bridge.
like on the Pro Cab controller, which is right below 5, which is just like an accessory button.
Yeah.
And so I accidentally hit that instead of 5, and I changed the Norfolk and Western whistle, or changed it past the Norfolk and Western whistle by accident.
Yeah.
And I definitely messed that up until I figured out that they had the 90 whistle on there too.
Oh my god.
So I used the 90 whistle.
They just went to Strasbourg and sampled all the whistles and put them in this locomotive.
Translator.
No. But the one thing that stank was that like
Face.
the short whistle on 90 wasn't as cool.
Was it a well-running locomotive? Like, did it lift?
Oh, it crawled really well.
It crawled really well. I guess that's good.
Like it ran smooth. It didn't like jump.
Ah.
Good.
Those are good. That's good.
That's good. Was it brass? It looked brass.
I don't think so.
Bruh.
Did you see it?
Yeah,
He sent me
I
a
ran
video of it.
all day.
Ah,
I didn't get to see it because when I went, Ray wasn't there. I
why
went in and it was just Roland and
JB.
JB and one of the Dons.
one of the Dons. I'm sure they're.
Okay, I'm not kidding. There are maybe 4 or 5 people in this club named Don.
Yeah, there are.
There's, Don Iris, Don Nevin,
Oh, Don Nevin, has he been there in a long time?
No, he kind of dropped off the face of the earth. I think he's still butthurt about his New Haven RS3s.
Oh.
You mean I can't keep them there?
It was. I
Yes.
mean, I was kind of pulling for them because I liked the New Haven RS3s, but they weren't prototype for the era.
Oh, BS.
Why not?
Well, A, because they're RS3s and it's 1985, and B, because they're still in New Haven paint and it's 1985.
Heritage units.
See the paint I can get. I feel like in an argument where you have both sides that have groups of people pulling from it, I feel like the time period thing doesn't hold much water.
I don't know.
I mean, Conrail had RS3s, didn't they?
Probably.
Yeah, and SP had those SP9s.
The paint's harder to argue. Yeah, Conrail had plenty of RS3s. Here's like 3 of them lined up in a row.
Yeah.
X in a row.
And here's one where oh my gosh, what did you do to this thing?
Oh no, not again.
Conrail, what is wrong?
This is a Conrail Rio Grande.
Post me, link me whatever atrocity you're looking at.
It's just, it's not as bad as you'd think. I just looked at the pictures, ugh.
So I came in a week before TJ did, and I brought in Lee on his little board.
Zip tied to his plywood.
Yeah, twist tied to his
What?
Plywood strip that used to belong to my roommate's chair. And what the... Oh my god, it looks like they set it on fire.
I was gonna say, but only the cab, strangely enough.
Well, they obviously put it out before it, damaged anything important like the locomotive.
But it burned the cab evenly. Like it doesn't look like there was a fire. It looked like they took the cab off the locomotive, burned it completely, and then put it back on the locomotive.
There was a Viking funeral in the locomotive.
But they repainted all of the locomotive except the cab.
No. They just didn't let it burn the rest of the important parts of the locomotive. The cab and the engineer.
I was gonna say, I think the cab's pretty important. There's not a lot on a train that really isn't that important, frankly.
Lehigh Valley, what were you doing?
Come on. Wheels, who needs them?
One of these related pictures is, an RS3, but with a high hood. I mean, what?
Please.
It's derpy.
Wait, no. Don't all RS3s have... Wait.
No.
No, the Lehigh Valley, the red one. Like, to the cab roof, like...
Oh,
what?
Okay, never mind.
Like it looks like it almost looks like an elongated, stretchy GURP.
Oh.
Like a stretchy, smoothed out GURP.
That's weird. The GURP got into moisturizer, face lotion. Smoothed out all the edges.
Moist.
And also the best half step was like
oh my god. Yeah, okay. But yeah, so I got to the Province of Northern, and I just put Lee's special coach on the end of Lee, and I drove him around and I talked, about steam and diesel and that and the other. We're in AI.
Oh, whoa.
Ow.
I just saw what you guys were talking about. I was looking at one that I thought was this, but the other hood was the one that was raised.
Oh, no.
This one just looks stupid.
Yeah, it does.
This just looks dumb. I was looking at one where where the other hood was raised and the other one was low.
Wow. Alright, so...
Thanks, Lehigh Valley.
Also, there was the whole Saving Private Lee saga. Was that... I talked about that last time, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But he was my travel companion, of course.
I was gonna say, the train's probably pretty empty, so you probably just had him on the seat next to you, huh?
No, the train... Again, the Lakeshore Limited is almost always full.
But the one way that it was empty.
The one way that I was there, I wouldn't call it empty, but there were empty seats. The one next to me, however, was not empty, so he was wedged between the seats where he normally goes. The board fits perfectly in the space between the seats.
Fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic.
Gosh,
Diabetes.
No.
Diabetes.
But yeah, no, so I was running Lee around, and he ran around a corner out of sight and then promptly very nearly ran into somebody. I guess I'm a crap engineer.
Yeah, well, no, that's my job.
That is not my job.
Before anybody says anything, that's an abbreviation of I actually had the opportunity to go to an operating session earlier today on the Castle Rock and Pacific, of course, when abbreviated is crap. So, I'm a crap engineer.
It's accurate.
Yeah. Wow, JDur.
Bite,
I'm
kidding.
Yes.
Yeah. No, you've like some of the. You want me to go for your throat now? Huh? You want in Ohio?
No.
But yeah. Essentially, yeah. Nah. What is this picture? Just let's take a moment to look at this. What is this guy doing?
Hold on. Let me bring it up.
He's doing what I would do.
This looks maybe mildly photoshopped. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah,
Mildly.
tell.
What was your first clue? The dude's head is like the size of a roller bearing. And for those that don't know, a roller bearing is about the size of a CD.
About the size of what?
CD.
He's a midget.
Like the fact that he's about the size of a toddler.
Maybe he is a toddler, you don't know.
I would totally do
He's
that.
a toddler with male pattern baldness.
Maybe he's a midget.
And a gut.
Maybe he is.
Maybe.
Well,
He's a toddler with a gut and male pattern baldness. Anyway, this was the first like real op session I've ever been to where it was actually people knew what we were doing and we actually got stuff done. We had card order
I've never been to one of those.
Huh?
I've never been to one of those.
I've been to one.
I mean, I've been to plenty of
There's a
op sessions,
Homer.
but come on. People knowing what they're doing? That's just not us.
I was gonna say
Homer on the
I was
camera.
actually really surprised how well people knew what they were doing and everything. There was, we had a dispatcher in one room who sat there the entire time looking. Like this layout was set. They had around the layout. Not only did they have controller ports every now and again, they had fully operational signals, and they also had a closed circuit telephone line that you could pick up the telephone and talk to the dispatcher who was upstairs.
That reminds me of what the hell just happened on the camera. That reminds me of Don Iris's layout. TJ, remember operating there?
yeah.
Yeah, they were kitted out just like you're saying.
But they had, you
was
go through a
the only
station, you
operator
pick up a
that
little
did it.
tag from a hook that has a picture of a mail bag on it. Picked up mail from here and is southbound. All this kind of stuff. I started out on a really easy job with an oil train bound from Castle Rock to Galveston,
To avoid
Texas.
the protesters.
I did avoid the protesters.
Yeah.
You ran them
There might have
over.
been a few of them who we were a little bit late. Maybe
were-
because they got in our way, maybe not.
Amtrak oil train.
The oil train was actually the one that ran most on time out of the three that I was able to do in the 5-hour op session. Basically, you get a card that has a job, you do that job, and then you go back to the office, drink a Coke, and when they have another job for you, they'll give it to you. But this first job with the oil train, I was serving as a brakeman because I was still kind of learning the ropes of everything. I was on a...
Oh wait, did trains have multiple person crews, or were you just kind of hanging out?
There were 3 the first time around that held multiple persons, but again, it was just orientation type stuff.
Oh, okay. See, they threw me right in with car cards and everything, and I was like, I have no idea what to do.
Well, don't worry, that gets here in just a minute. They weren't that mean, but they got pretty
Well,
intense.
no, I mean, they were very helpful, but it was sort of like, it's okay, we'll be here
A
if you
little-
need us. And
yeah, a
then,
little bit much. Don't worry, it gets there in a bit. But we took it was pulled by a Texas locomotive. It was a very, very nice engine.
what era
very-
is this layout?
Steam era. It's transition era, although it's still primarily steam. Like they have very, very few. The only diesels that they had were on passenger trains.
They don't have, like,
Yay.
500 RS3s.
No, all the yard switchers. Basically, most of the yard switchers were 080s.
Transition era, otherwise known to the NEB&W as RS3 takeover time.
As RS3, as time to dieselize. Anyway, so that was the first train we got there. We got there relatively on time without a hitch. We were just running a little bit late because there was a signaling thing. Because there were 3 new engineers. They were testing a new signaling system. They had a new card order system. They were using JMRI, which they hadn't used before. They usually used another program, and they didn't like JMRI. By the way, they thought it sucked.
What was JMRI?
Oh, I thought you guys used JMRI.
Do we?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just pulling
What
that
is
up.
JMRI?
The computer signaling stuff.
Oh, no, I don't know the name of the problem. I don't know the name of the program we use. I think it's just like...
Don't you mean problem we use?
Yeah, the problem... Well, no, that's Chris Clegg. Our lovely steam-hating dispatcher. And barbecuist.
And barbecued. Barbecued.
Barbecuist.
Anyway, sorry, I thought you used JMRI, but we were using a bunch of new stuff, and the signals essentially got screwed up, so we were a little bit late getting into Galveston, but everything else was late, so it wasn't really much of a difference. The next job, I went back into the office and was delayed for a while because, again, all the stuff was running late. We actually ran, comparatively, even though we were late as far as the schedule went, comparatively we were early.
Oh.
So while everybody else kind of cleared the main line and more tasks were, freight cars were put where they needed to be for more jobs to be carried out, we hung out for a while. My second job was to take train number, my first train is, train 2000 and something for, random freight number blank. Next one I get is train number 2.
Uh-oh.
And it's the premier passenger train.
Yes.
And I'm like, seriously, you're gonna have me pull the premier. There were the two premier passengers.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah, it was great. There were the two premier passenger trains on the entire layout. There was the Seagull and there was the Seagull and the Eagle.
Seagull and the Eagle.
I never realized how much those rhyme. But the Seagull, Seagull was a war bonnet passenger train, and the Eagle was a Rio Grande Alco PA train. You can imagine which one. The locomotive just shook an awful lot.
Yeah, I know.
On the cab, it just shook a lot right there.
But it did that while we were just kind of sitting in the station doing nothing. So I'm just wondering if it's the camera bouncing around.
I guess so. Huh. But I got on the Rio Grande one. This was the one I ran the most late with.
Great.
Because we had several signal issues that happened because I was actually going from Galveston to Castle Rock in this case.
Fraggle Rock.
The track was shorted out a few times, so we had to get back underway a few times. And also, I had to... there was a point where I got to... Because I was train number 2 as opposed to train number 1, I got to a point where I had to wait for the Seagull to pass so that I could proceed. And the Seagull was way delayed.
Oh.
The Seagull had, been...
This is literally the situation I was in with on the Lakeshore Limited waiting for 449. That guy's late, so therefore we're gonna be late.
Yeah, but the Seagull was going the opposite direction. It had gone from Castle Rock and was en route to Galveston. Yeah. And as it had been leaving Castle Rock, a freight had fouled a switch, basically, and it had plowed into a freight. So that it was at least 10 minutes behind by the time it reached somewhere in New Mexico. I can't remember the name of the city. But they're the 3 big cities, and by the time it left whatever the city in New Mexico was, it was running really late. So when I should have been in New Mexico, I was about 50 miles south waiting for the Seagull to pass. And eventually it got there. It was pretty late, but luckily there weren't any connections or anything to make it. It was one that didn't have freight to drop off. It was pretty okay running its schedule.
Yeah.
And then the next one that they gave me, I went back and immediately turned around because they had a big job ready, and it was what they called the Galveston City job.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah. So
switching forever.
They called it the Galveston City job, and all the that is sleek. It's very shiny. Oh, but the cars are different. Ew.
It was good until until halfway through.
Welcome to Torpo.
Torpedo.
But they hand me this job, and they kind of giggle a little bit, and the one gal makes a comment. I like it when that job doesn't get finished because I like doing it myself. And it's okay, and I go out and if all the yard masters and everything are going about their work, and I go to the one in Galveston to fetch my engine, and I put down the waybill, and he happens to see the name, and he looks up at me, and he's like, maybe, are you sure that this is the one that they, did they see what they were handing you? Yeah, they commented. He was like, okay. Essentially, this job is notorious for being the rookie killer.
You know what? We have one of those. I'll elaborate in a minute, but go on.
This job is notorious for being nearly... They've said that it is one of, if not the hardest standard job on the railroad. Standard meaning you're not a yard master or a dispatcher.
Or narrow.
This isn't the narrow gauge layout.
Oh.
This is a different layout. Otherwise, I would have done nothing but the narrow gauge, which I'll talk about in a minute. But Essentially, where was I going with that thought? This job is just notorious for being terrible. Luckily, the yardmaster had helped me out a little bit. He already had a string of cars set out for me that I had to take from Galveston Yard into Galveston Industrial Park, about a mile away. Got my little 060 engine. It was Denver and Rio Grande, so I was very happy. It had a great whistle too, because it was one of those where you push the button and it doesn't lag at all. So you could very easily signal with it.
Oh yeah.
You're not being sluggish with the buttons and everything. You could go bip 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 and it whoop whoop whoop. It was very easy to signal your movements with it.
Oh, the WoW sound did that today. It was awesome.
I love that's
Like,
the
I
one
was
thing
like-
I
I was
really
like-
hate about the tsunamis is the whistles are so laggy.
I was
It's
like,
very difficult to do anything with them. But I got this string of cars that the guy had set out for me, and it's probably 20 or so cars to take this industrial park. And essentially what you do is swap the cars out for their counterparts that are already there,
Ooh.
which is very tricky when you have one runaround track, and it's only big enough for the locomotive to run around 2 cars.
Oh God.
Ooh.
Yeah, it very quickly turned into a mess where at one point, like, the worst point in the operation, I not only was fouling the main technically, but remember this is an 060? I had 14 cars in front of me and 6 behind me, and I was moving the entire cut around the yard like this. Like, one of the guys kind of looked at me, and he was wondering what I was doing, and he looked at the order and was like, oh, he's doing that, and kind of realized what was going on. But that was
I'm sorry,
crazy.
son, you're boned.
Yeah, he was like, I'll just leave him to that, because if he manages to solve that, then I don't care how he manages to do it. But I was impressed with the little engine. It was a little 060. It wasn't very, it didn't strike me as beefy or anything, but it was moving 20 cars at once around real tight curves. And eventually, like, that was one of the that was like the last big job that I actually finished.
Oh,
and I
you
managed,
did finish it. That was my question.
I did finish it.
Yeah.
I did. Again, the yardmaster at Galveston was helpful, because technically the job is you take your engine, go into Galveston Yard, organize a string of cars, take the cars to the park, swap them out, bring that string back, and then put them back in the yard.
Mhm.
I just brought the string back and he shunted them for me.
Ah.
So it wouldn't have taken long, but I got to go and pick another job anyway.
Yeah.
But I got into the next job is the next story, and the next locomotive I had. So I've had a Texas Rio Grande PAs and a Rio Grande 060. The next one, I look at the card, and I'm trying to figure out New Delaware, Eastern Massachusetts, or something like that.
What?
And she's like, "Yeah, exactly. Well, think of the letter."
Uh-oh. Yep,
yeah,
I
and
know.
she's like, "Oh wait, these aren't supposed to be capital." And I'm like, "Uh-oh." And I get out there, and it's an NDAM 280.
Oh,
Yes.
I was gonna say, I was hoping it was a Niagara.
It was not a Niagara, unfortunately, but I had to run an NDAM freight from Galveston to a coal mine somewhere.
CC.
That one didn't get finished because essentially by the time I got the train out of staging, the session was
Over.
pretty much, yeah.
Game over.
Oh well.
Well,
This
this was
train has been
break.
terminated.
We were taking a break at the time.
Union break.
Yeah, so yeah, union type work. I didn't want to make any union jokes because I didn't know who was affiliated with unions or anything. At the other club, nobody is, so it's okay. But it was a great experience. I really love the card order operations. I've never really been able to do it before because it's it's a very formal.
Yeah.
It's about as formal as the hobby gets, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really the most formal. It's about the most formal you can get with the hobby, and our layout, frankly, is just bad at it. This layout was fantastic too because you could run it like a point-to-point road where you could run from Colorado to New Mexico to Texas, and then back from Texas, New Mexico, Colorado.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, it was dual level,
Oh.
and then although it was spread out, so you didn't really realize it was dual level, and one shelf was pushed further back.
Yeah.
So they the Texas and the Colorado are essentially right across the aisle from each other, so they share a staging yard.
Oh yeah.
So
we do that.
You can treat it like point to point, but if you wanted to use it as a continuous loop, you could. And also, if you wanted to have a train basically appear anywhere on the layout, you could do it.
The PN.
It was in my head, it is the perfect layout for an operating session.
The PN is actually kind of similar. It is a loop, but we treat it as a point-to-point railroad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most trains end
This
in
is just cool
John.
because you essentially start in one place. You're in Colorado, and then 3 feet away is Texas across the aisle. However, you basically run. You go up around all these different helixes, and you do all kinds of crazy climbing up to the second deck, and you go through, tons and tons of scenery in little towns, and then you basically return to the same point in the same yard, or the same staging yard, which was something foreign to me because our layout is just the worst. Our layout is the continuous loop, but we have 4 staging yards.
Oh my god.
Ow.
Sorry. We have the 4 staging yards, and 3 of them are underground, and none of them have proper signaling, so it's just impossible to do anything. So that was the crap engineer. That was this awful switch list, and that was the CCI freight.
I need to write some stuff down to mention next time. We're edging on 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
Dang.
I'll save this stuff for next time.
All right.
Next week on the Terminus.
TJ.
Yeah, I have
still
nothing.
alive.
I have nothing except the PN, which I already talked
Actually,
about.
you do have something to talk about.
What?
I helped you build it. It went to the state fair.
Oh, I thought I already talked about that.
No.
Nope.
You're supposed to last week.
Yeah, except you disappeared.
Oh yeah, my computer went black.
Yeah.
So so my computer, or not my computer. So my science fair project, which I've talked about previously, which Ellis helped me build, it was a steam boiler.
Almost killed us.
It did not almost kill us.
Well, I'm not even sure we'd be able to know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just steam it up again and test it.
Yeah, we will.
Boom. Let's test it. If we don't report back, then it killed us. If we do, then it didn't.
Test it from behind a blast screen.
Yeah.
Like the Mythbusters.
Exactly.
Myth busted up.
Titanic.
Although Wiebold will just call the experiment flawed. Because
Hey, that was I very much respect Mythbusters. That was the one exception. Well, that was one of a very limited list of exceptions that I have.
But so
You're doing it wrong.
That's like the one where I've said you're doing it wrong because it's the very principle in my mind anyway that is they didn't test.
Yeah, it made it into the state science fair.
Woo!
We did. How did it go there? Did you we're in goal.
I don't know. I got like a thing that was like, oh, you were
Goal.
Participation.
It was third grant, which is
Third wheel.
It's like the state science fair version of participation.
Yeah. Didn't you get any interesting comments on it or anything?
Oh yeah, there were a couple guys that were like, oh, that's really cool. There's a lady that recommended me to go see the nuclear reactor at the other side of campus, but didn't do that.
Aww.
Wow. That's gotta feel.
Do you want to see the nuclear reactor?
I was gonna say you show up with like a chowder can boiler, and you want to go see this pocket-sized nuclear reactor we have on campus. It's like, really?
Speaking of pocket-sized nuclear reactor, I know I've talked about it, but we have an Alco-built nuclear reactor in Scandinavia owned by RPI.
What?
Yep.
You've not talked about that before.
I've mentioned it, but it kind of flew under the radar. So apparently Alco got into the business of building nuclear reactors.
Oh, great.
And we own
Nuclear
it.
powered RS3s.
The American Locomotive Company got into the business of building reactors.
It's
for
funny
No,
because,
that's why the-
it's funny
no,
because
listen.
I have class with a nuclear engineer, and she's, oh well, it's really not that bad. It's kind of a pint-sized thing. It couldn't do any real damage. And I was like, well, yeah, but I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm not even sure Alco was that good at building locomotives. I really wouldn't trust it with a nuclear reactor.
Hey, don't diss Alco. Alco
No,
is love.
nuclear
Alco is
powered
love. Is that a
RS3s,
train in
that's
front of us?
What?
That red thing on the camera?
We're gonna crash.
Has that always been there? Am I
don't know,
crazy,
we just
or is
pulled
that a
in here.
train approaching?
Well, you are crazy.
We're all crazy. I don't think it's a train approaching, but I could be wrong. I'd like to be proven wrong.
Train
But-
approaching.
But that's why the one guy can't have his RS3s. They're nuclear powered.
They were actually
Nuclear.
irradiating everyone.
Yes.
Oh god.
All right.
Don't call the EPA.
Just go,
Obsession noob killer.
yeah, I'll talk about that next time.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I'm interested to hear about that because I want to see how your equivalent is similar and
It
different from this
It
one.
is. I'll put it this way: yours is just bluntly, stupidly complicated. Ours is the new guy will come in and go, "Oh, this looks simple." It's not.
Oh, it's one of those that tricks you into being simple.
Yep.
Oh.
But Mi Busta?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mi Busta.
Don't really. That was just there for there.
Well, it's gonna friggin' kill me, so we'll talk
It
about
is
it
going
later.
It is going to kill you.
It's going to. No, I am going to kill it.
It's taking you with it.
I will live and it will die.
I don't think that's a choice here.
I will
It's
be
gonna mug you.
victorious.
Maybe
It's gonna mug you.
Anyway,
It's like,
real
It's
quick.
like we get there, I sit on the train and I tip the caboose over, and it's like, I win.
I win. Oh, dear.
You just
All
kick
right.
it over.
Andy Wiener.
Live Steam real quick. You guys are gonna get a hotel. Milky and I are gonna get a hotel. Milky and I
Well,
might have to share a little bit
Well,
much.
Sausage fest.
They bring a sleeping bag.
Yeah,
I might have to. But when
you can
see
sleep. You can go sleep in your car, Milky.
Hey, why else do you think I have a truck bed on it?
Yeah, car truck.
Because it's an El Camino.
Because you don't have a choice. You didn't build the car.
It's an El Camino. What else?
Okay, so real quick, then we can wrap up a bunch here.
V-scale, no
Right.
one has done
I have
really
model
anything.
railroading.
Iron Horseman Chronicles is in the works. Oh,
Yeah,
you
but I have
you
model railroading.
Oh yeah, you got your things.
Yeah.
Run through it real quick.
All right, so Entertainment Junction. It's an amazing place to spend a few hours if you love trains. Yeah, great time, such fun. Many wow, Mutu trains.
It's just a
Yeah,
big red
and it's
building.
What?
It's just a big red building that that Wiebold was looking at. Like we just passed it.
Oh.
But yeah, the place is all the trains are G scale. Soup tall mountains, bridges. It's awesome. Great place to spend. Great place to spend some time if you love trains.
All right.
Cool. Okay.
And I'm not done yet.
You shall
On my
pass.
homeland, I've been.
I know
making
I
my-
really shouldn't be talking because I took the longest here, but really.
Just wait. Hold on.
I don't know. I spent like 20 minutes talking about the Lakeshore Limited.
That's true,
Yeah.
but.
All right. So
But that's
on my
meant for
homeland, I've
delaying
been. On my homeland, I've been doing. I've been making my mountains and stuff out of cardboard, glue, and masking tape.
You should
Ghetto.
do like a PSA.
Shut up.
How to make ghetto mountains.
They're blue.
Why are they blue?
Because
The Blue Ridge Mountains.
Wow.
masking tape.
Wow.
What is that? Not, did you not take that literally?
But yeah, grass and at Entertainment Junction, I got 4 lifelike passenger cars.
Whoa.
'Cause, I was walking around in the store, see these in the case, I'm like, must has.
They actually look pretty nice.
Yeah, they are pretty good. They're like
They're
the one
older
lifelike
style
They're like the one lifelike things I've owned that aren't crap. So far.
Mm.
I mean, I've had them about a week.
Yeah.
Actually, not even a week. I got them Sunday.
Cool.
Well, then, in V-Scale, I mean, we've done writing on the Iron Horseman Chronicles. We're getting through some stuff. And
Premieres July.
What?
Premieres July 11th.
4th.
America.
Early July.
Early July.
Wait, you.
Anyways, on the Iron Horseman channel. Hold on, I'll link to that. Anyways, quick PSA on Rails of War. If you're dying going up hills in Rails of War, floor it. That is your solution. Go as fast as possible at all
Yeah.
times.
And if you're in a Trepanov, then don't go up hills.
Exactly.
Larry.
Larry.
Well,
And if you're Penn Central, you should probably start laying track.
We laid a couple pieces. Don't
Penn
worry.
Central.
Yeah, a couple of pieces.
No one is helping me.
In their defense, though, you're not on there. Oh,
I'll get on there tomorrow.
Fight. Yes.
Tomorrow,
2 more days of spring
JDur.
break.
Yeah, so, did we announce the greatest thing ever of all time?
I don't think we did.
Yeah, well,
Carl is officially the first railroad on our Minecraft server to have connected its destination.
the Colorado and Rhode Island, we currently have 3 towns connected at a length of probably about 6 kilometers of track.
All late in survival, mind you.
Yes. Thanks to Village
We were-
of Trades.
We were literally the last people we expected to be able to connect to Union Terminal first, and we did it.
Yep.
Like, I
I'm
don't
so
know
surprised
how we
Larry
did that.
didn't get there
Also,
first.
frickin' Union Terminal, god damn it.
Somebody stepped on Union Terminal.
Somebody.
Squished it just a little bit.
The roof was one too short.
That and
An
somebody
enormous
blew it
roof made out of glass. I finished
no.
raising the roof
Raise
Whoa.
the
the
roof.
other night.
Yay.
I
Woo.
just want to punch a baby.
It's the sound that makes me punch infants!
Don't
Anyways,
punch a baby, punch a
Mogi's
JDur.
working on the gorge.
What?
And
TJ.
Mogi's working
TJ's
on
not doing much of anything on Iron Horseman. He should probably consider
really
taking
should.
stuff off.
Yeah, because my computer is poopy.
Yeah,
I mean,
TJ can't
if-
handle the grass.
if
Then-
you want me
then
to,
hand
if you
your
want me to
stuff
work
off.
on that, I'll do it.
I was
You're-
actually going
no,
to give it.
then you're gonna come
I was actually going to tell JDur to do it. So
If you want me to, I'll do it.
yes.
Am I
go-
going to be known as
I'll
Despicable?
make it not
No,
as grass.
because
You're not gonna be known as
It's not your
despicable.
fault that your computer sucks, but you should probably replace that. So
And that's what I'm working on.
yeah,
it would be your fault if you stood by it and were all prideful about, well, I don't want anybody else to do it. If it's
No,
fine
I-
with somebody else doing it, that's okay.
I want to still work on stuff, but my computer sucks balls, so I can't.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, somehow mine isn't the greatest yet. My
Well,
my MP route, yeah.
Oh,
Grass
I can't
everywhere.
wait for it. So let's round it out here. We have precisely 8 minutes left before we hit 30 minutes or 30 minutes, 3 hours. 8 minutes left before we hit 3 hours. So
Maintenance of way.
maintenance away. We got anything? To
I have
talk about
stuff.
right now? You
But
have
it's
stuff.
really just
No.
well,
this is the
it's just my main MP route.
What do
I'm
you-
shooting for late May, early June to have it completed.
I
and
can't
I've
wait
been
for
planning-
It, honestly, it's
Yeah.
turning out great.
I've been planning activities
Yes.
because I'm going to release the route and as many just activities as I can that you
So
do
much
in
room
single
for
player.
activities.
Milky, that
Yeah.
one will take too long.
Which one? Yeah.
Something that people just don't want to do.
Real quick, this is something I'm going to do live on the air. It's something I'm going to ask you guys, aside from JDur, have
What?
a spot in the intro reserved for you.
Yes.
My 3 engineers. JDur, you're a guest. You can.
Oh.
I will pull the guests separately, see if they want anything changed up a little bit in the. Well,
Guess
actually,
go first.
The special guest section doesn't have a lot. I was thinking of Milky's section the way I set that up. But my point is, if you guys have anything to say about what you want changed about your portion of the intro, speak now or tell me later.
I can't think of anything.
You don't
Okay.
have a portion.
That's the point.
I'll
Why do you-
tell you too about the ones that I want.
Thanks for
Good
making it interesting. Anyways, the whole point is going to be I'm going to go in and I'm going to change up some of the slides that are, well, not really slides, but sections. Little video clips and stuff that go in there. Wiebold, I'm sure would you want your P-38 clip updated to reflect what you've been flying recently?
Yes.
I would figure.
Although still the P-38 is still the best plane in my lineup.
Do a barrel roll.
It's still the one I'm able to get the most kills with, and I get Hercules every time I do it, so...
Oh my goodness. Well, maybe I should leave it in then.
No. No.
This stuff to be updated there anyways. In fact, I'm probably going to change a couple of things. So, additionally, the big change that's coming is going to be the outro, also known as the credits, also known as the second riff of the song that we use for the intro. Along with some scrolling credits thanking people, and, you know, the people who were on, the people who were, the people who contributed in the background, although they're really not that many people usually. Maybe if you get, you know, maybe if you get a link from another source.
We can thank Obama.
Yes. And at the very end, thanks, Obama.
And as always, we always could use more new and interesting guests. So, with that, Terminations.
If you want to go out of your way, viewers, and tell someone, hey, there's this really cool podcast, they might want...
That's not the Roundhouse.
That's not the Roundhouse. It's a better building. It's called the Terminus. And
I still think we should have taken the name Roundhouse.
Yeah, but then they would have the name Roundhouse too.
Well, I think he at least would have looked up Roundhouse Podcast.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't think so.
Possible Terminus names aside.
Anyway, Terminations.
Names aside, this is the Terminus. The train terminates at the station. Where are we going to be terminating today? First one up, of course, is TJ, because he leads the way in points, as always.
Remember, kids. Colon blow.
Alright. What?
Colon blow.
Is that a link?
No, just colon blow.
I was really hoping it wasn't.
I don't think we want it to be a link, really.
Yeah, I know. Alright, so next I'll let Milky go.
Okay, when an exobrass engine blows up.
Brass.
Oh, I know what this is already.
Oh, I forgot to add something to my outro.
Oh well. Now shut up. Next up, I'll let Wiebold.
American engines are better than British engines.
Let me just dictate this. Meanwhile, JDur.
Quack, quack, quack.
Fantastic. Alright, and I'd just like to point out for you guys something very near and dear to my heart. It's called the Infinite Turbo Train. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, podcast, whatever you want to call it. We're all out.
www.colonblow.com.
The Building Podcast.
See you guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.
The train has terminated.